Man, we got a fire show lined up today, man. It's gonna be a good show. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you didn't see the thumbnail, the title, we got TDL in the building. Man, Marcus, man, like you be breaking down all the film, talking all football all day, every day. Do you follow
Yeah.
any other sports?
Uh, you said any other sports?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I follow other sports like basketball, basically for the most part.
Okay.
It depends. It just depends, man. But yeah, I do follow other sports. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay. So it's basically mostly football and then who? Right
yeah.
after.
Mostly,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Because I'm trying to think of
Gotcha.
what other sport I could follow. Like just boxing and shit like that.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Who?
yeah.
What team? You root for? For who?
For the
Okay.
Suns.
Suns? Oh, okay, okay. Damn, man. So how did you feel about Kevin Durant leaving?
I kind of
Surprising.
I didn't really feel any type of way about it because I mean I feel like that him and Beal and Booker they just couldn't mesh, and I think Booker needs to be like the man for real. Like I think he has to be like the man with some like smaller guys around him, and like maybe like a guy like kind of how like SGA has like the Williams dude. You know what I mean? Like a dude like that. That's what Booker needs. He can't have like a KD that like has to have that the control a little bit at times. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying, man. But yeah, KD low key getting like a bad rap as far as his career goes because it seems like everywhere he goes, it just doesn't work out.
I don't know why.
You know,
Well, I mean, I kind of know because I think I think he's kind of like a little bit like a weird teammate, a little bit in my opinion. But
yeah, no, for sure, man. That and
yeah,
he
yeah,
he's never gonna let that go until like he can put together a championship on his own, like where he's the top dog. But that's a whole different conversation, man. Hey, man, everybody watching, man, don't forget to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Here we go.
Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Raiders! 2 years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We back. Man, we back for another edition of Around the Shield. Man, we got my guy Marcus from Tape Don't Lie in the building. Man, we got a great show lined up, great conversation lined up, man. I'm really excited to talk to you about a few things, man, about the draft, about obviously the offseason, because it's been a minute since we had you on.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Raiders got a new head coach. They got new people in the building. Before we even get started with that conversation, make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. Night crew in the building, man. We appreciate y'all coming through. But yeah, Black Sales, man. One more day. No, for sure. Facts, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man. Finally, we're here, man. And honestly, it's kind of 2 more days.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean,
we kind of know. We know what the number 1 pick is going to look like. Unless you see or you feel like something, maybe Spytek might have something up his sleeve. But for me, it's like kind of obvious who the Raiders are going to go with pick number 1. It would be crazy for them to even trade out of that spot, especially with all the years of them actually looking to get all the years where they needed a quarterback, where they couldn't even get one in the first round because they were nowhere close to getting a quarterback in the draft. So
yeah,
now they have their chance. But let's just start with like obviously they got their new head coach, Clint Kubiak. Free agency came and went. What positions we know quarterback is going number 1.
Yeah,
we know what quarterback is going on, and I'm going to get your thoughts on Mendoza in a second. But like, what position are you prioritizing after the first round, especially with free agency kind of coming and going?
You know, to me, it has to be safety. I think the safety position right now, I mean, all you have is really Isaiah Palamau and Jeremy Chin. If you think about it a little bit, there's not really any depth there either, right? We don't even have any depth there. So if those guys, they decide those guys are the starters, somebody gets hurt, there's nothing there. They didn't really attack that in free agency really at all, right? They brought back Stokes, Taron Johnson, slot corner, linebackers, they defensive ends, right? Even got a guard. They never address safety though, right? And so I think that's where they're going to be attacking in the draft. And I think the biggest pump fake they're showing us is like with the visits, right? Because there's no safeties really coming in for visits. You notice that? Yep. There's not a lot of safeties coming in there. And I think that's a little bit of a pump fake, right? A lot of wide receivers, and which I still think they're looking at just in case those guys fall to them and they want to draft somebody like that. But I think they're focusing on the safeties. I think the safeties is going to be a big part of this draft. And every press conference talk about how that it's the deepest part of this class, but for some reason they have no visits from them. That's a little weird to me. So I think it's going to be the safety position for sure.
Safety position, yeah, that's a position obviously like we need someone specifically. When I look at the safety room, we need someone that can play the deep part of the field. Like someone with some range. Mm-hmm. I feel like we got some guys that can play in the box, but we don't have that guy that can actually like play down the field and be a playmaker. When was the last playmaking free safety? I mean, was it Reggie Nelson?
Reggie Nelson?
Was it Reggie Nelson? That's been a long time. And even him, he used to get killed too. He was boomer bust. He had, I think one year he had like 8 picks, 4 to 8 picks. It was
something like that. Something like 5 or something like that. Yeah, he was clutch picks too. Like it was like game sealers. Yeah,
that's 100%. So I can see that, but so they can take one. You're saying they can take one as early as the second round.
Yeah, I think, it depends on who falls to them. So if it's like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, who, isn't really that free safety type, but I still think they want more guys like that in the building, right? You can move him around a little versatile. Maybe if they like Tre'Don Stukes, I mean, there's a lot of buzz with him, but like if they are that high on him, that might happen. There's AJ Halsey's, but I think a lot of those guys, they could wait till like 67 to take those, right? Mm-hmm. And there's some good safeties you can take day 3 too. So, at 36 is probably, if they are going to go that route with safety, it's probably the Emmanuel McNeil-Warrens. If they reach a little bit, maybe they go like AJ Halsey's, or like I said, Stukes is getting a lot of buzz, but he's almost 26, so you got to really watch with that and see how you feel about that with the age thing, because especially there ain't quarterbacks, they don't play till 40, the most safety. So you got to factor that in when you're kind of trying to decide who you want to go there. But I think Emmanuel McNorth-Warren at 36 is probably the only guy that I could see them taking at 36. But I expect them to kind of double up in day 2 and day 3 if they can.
Yeah, I heard like Daniel Jeremiah saying that he's talked to some teams and he feels like McNeil-Warren might be there in the second, because a lot of mocks, you know, people have been doing mocks since last season, during the season, when we don't even know any information about some of these prospects. But Warren was the guy that was projected to go in the first, but now, like, as things settle, we get closer to the draft, a lot of these guys start talking to like a lot of people on it, you know, from different teams, and that's a guy that they're saying that can possibly be there in the second. And I wouldn't be mad at it, because Jeremy Chin, he's on his last year on his deal.
Yeah.
As a, you know, Jeremy Chin is a strong safety, or these days it's not even called strong safety. I don't know what you want to call, you know, guy that can play in the box. You know what I mean? The safety can play, you know, closer to the line of scrimmage. And I know Palomao, I think he's on his last year of his deal, because I know he's.
I think so. Yeah, because he signed a 2-year deal, right?
Yeah. So it could be a situation where the Raiders could look at it like BPA situation, but also be like, hey, this is going to be a need real quick. And are we going to bring back Jeremy Chin? I know Spytech, I think that was one of his first signings once he came to the building, and was Jeremy Chin. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm sure he's probably going to be looking at, if it's a McNeil-Warren available in the second, I can see that happening. Now, wide receiver has been a position that, like, ever since Devontae and, you know, that whole experiment that Josh McDaniels kind of like put that Josh McDaniels, when he came into the building, he got Devontae Adams, and obviously, you know, I'm trying to think of receiver that went to Jacksonville, my guy,
Brian Thomas.
No, not Brian Thomas. Raiders receiver that we traded.
Jacoby Myers.
Yeah. Ever since we lost our wide receiver core, it's kind of been shaky. It started with Devontae, and then, you know, Jacoby Myers became that, you know, number one by default. But then, you know, we all look at him as kind of like a possession guy. I don't know if you would look at him as a true X. And then, you know, obviously Spytech moved on last offseason, traded him. And now you look at the receiver room, which they drafted a couple of guys last year.
Yeah.
All right. I think you're higher on the receiver room than me. I think
probably.
I think you're higher on the receiver room than me. Like, who you like as of right now? Who are the projected starters as of right now? Before we even get into some of the guys,
draft, right?
Yeah. As of right now, if you had to be like, hey, you know, who are the starters on each side?
Ooh. Okay. So offense, it gets tough. It gets tough because at wide receiver, like right now, it'd probably be like Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker, and then maybe Jack Besh, right? But as they go toward personnel, then probably Jack Besh isn't on the field. But it's still, I think Trey Tucker is probably ahead of those other two guys, right? But he's ahead of Thornton and Jack Besh. So it would have to be Besh at this point, right? If I'm thinking about it, it'd have to be them. And then, you know, on the line, it would be probably Miller, probably Rodgers, or it could be Jordan Meredith, but I'm gonna go Rodgers, right? Linderbaum, JPJ, DJ Glaze for now on offense, and then defense. It's a little tougher because the defense, I don't even know. That's why I think they got to get some D tackles, because I'm like, I mean, Adam Butler, I guess, Jonah Lalu.
Hold on one second, Mint. Go ahead, Marcus. Mint, I see you in the backstage. I'm gonna add you in a second.
Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah. So, you know, and then, you know, of course, Crosby, and then you got Keedy, you got Pay, and then you got, you know, the two linebackers. I think those guys will get started, but then you get to be Palomao and Chin, and then you got corner. It has to be Porter, Stokes, and then Taron Johnson, right?
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of starts. Go ahead.
So you have Taron Johnson at nickel, right? Starting nickel.
Yeah, he's starting nickel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you got Stokes, and then but like on offense at wide receiver, that's why, you know, they probably are going to draft one, because he not even say Jalen Naylor, and I was thinking, like, would he put Naylor out there?
But they paid
on like
him.
A base down, right?
They kind of paid him a little bit, like for a guy that never really had. They're kind of like projecting that he's going to take the next step.
Yeah. So, you know, I guess I would put him over Besh for now.
Yeah.
So it'd be Tucker and him. But he just hasn't played like that. So for me to like be, even though they paid him, I know they paid him, right? But you think about the wide receiver market, like Pierce made like 30 million, him making 11 million, like what, it feels like backup wide receiver money at this point a little bit. So you got to think about it that way. Yeah. But I wonder where he's gonna fit in, because I think they're trying to draft a guy that's just like him. All the guys they bring in, they're nailers, but like younger and more talented, and you're not 5th round picks. You know what I mean? So it's weird what to do with the wide receiver room, and that's why Kubiak probably wants to draft one. He's probably telling Spytek, you better draft one. Yeah, that's why I feel like it's happening.
Because it's definitely a situation where it's a new people in the building and they have nothing to do with the guys in the building. So like, especially Clint Kubiak being an offensive guy, he's going to be way more invested on that side of football. So if he doesn't have his guys in the building, he's going to let Spytek know about that. So, I mean, man, Thornton, like, is he, do you think he's on a, like, this is too early to talk about this, but do you think he's on a bubble? Do you think he's on a bubble?
He could be. Because the thing is, like with Kubiak, and a lot of people, we like that big outside X receiver. Kubiak does not need that at all. Yeah. His main receiver is the Z, right? His main receiver is the Z. So that's why you see JSN. Like JSN goes up with him. He's a slot receiver behind Metcalf and all that stuff. Kubiak comes in and he just becomes the man. He's the best receiver in football. He's got 1,700 yards because Kubiak, that's the kind of receiver Kubiak likes in his offense. Like he likes that move around guy. Like I can't just put you right here and make things happen. You know what I mean? It has to be that kind of situation where I can move you everywhere. Like I can get you free releases. You can't get press coverage on you if I move you here. So he needs a wide receiver like that. And do the Raiders have a guy like that right now? Like no, they don't. So that's the thing. And they're bringing like a kind of a maybe guy like Jalen Naylor. Like maybe he could become that guy, but like I don't trust him too much. Like it's from a nuanced perspective, wide receiver, I could see why he's not that guy. Yeah. So that's why I feel like if it comes to 36 and there's certain guys there, or even if a certain guy falls, and they might trade up to get a wide receiver because Kubiak doesn't have him right now. And that's just the truth. Unless he makes Brock Bowers that guy, which he could do that. But I don't know. It's weird. I'm super interested in what he's going to do with Brock, too, because he's never had a guy like that either.
Okay. And I'm going to lead this. We're going to lead this to some of the guys that can possibly be available at 36 in the second round or at some point in the draft, guys that you like. But before we get into that, I know you're high on Trey Tucker. Mm-hmm. At best, it sounds like you're like high might be a strong word, but you might be like, hey, he's a good number 3 receiver. Do you look at him as a number 3 kind of guy?
I think he could be a good number 2.
He could be a good number 2. Okay.
Just because I think he can run the full route tree at this point, and I've seen him do it. And I am super interested because in my head, like I feel like that you could move him. You could move him around and do a lot of the things that maybe Kubiak likes to do with him, but it all depends. I mean, what's happening in practice, and I think Kubiak he's the only guy that Kubiak's praised too. He's the only guy that Kubiak said anything about. He didn't say anything about anybody else. They call Jack Best a football player, which I think was a disrespectful comment for a wide receiver to get called a football player. I mean, you're a skill guy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You can play like you're not a quarterback or like a linebacker. He plays football. Like that's not a compliment for a wide receiver. So I think that Tucker is like the only guy that maybe they could do something with, but I still think they're going to search. They're not going to skip over these guys in the draft. Search is a deep class.
For sure. Real quick, man. Hey, my guy Minted in the building, man.
What's good, y'all? What's good?
What's good, man? It's been a minute. Hey, we're going to have a fire show. Hey, we're going to have a good conversation. Hopefully. Hey, how's it going, bro? First of all, I haven't speak to you. Like, it's been a minute since I talked to you, man. How's everything going with you?
It's been smooth, bro. It's been smooth. Just keeping busy. Excited for the draft. I had to clock out of the NBA season a little bit early. My Bulls were looking real trash, and they made 7 trades in one day. So I was like, all right, the NBA season's kind of over into the playoffs for me. So I'm just chilling, man. How y'all doing?
No, everything cool, man. On our end, man. We're just trying to have our last, conversation thoughts about the draft before tomorrow. I mean, obviously we know that we kind of started off by saying we know who the number 1 pick is going to be. But look, we were talking about the wide receiver room. That's been a popular discussion over the offseason. Obviously, if anybody watching me on this channel, I've been getting on the Raiders wide receiver room for a while. Like, man, this is This is ugly. This is terrible. But I think that we can establish that, hey, we need to add some talent to that room, right? So who are guys that you would be looking at in the second? And then like some guys that you like just overall, like at some point in the draft, like personally.
Yeah, so me personally, it all depends on who falls to them. So I think they really like Omar Cooper. I don't know where Omar Cooper goes, but there is a lot of buzz. He's gonna go first round, right? But that's somebody they really like. They're gonna really he's the ultimate guy that kind of he reminds me of Brandon Ayuk a lot. Just where you can move him around. He can move a little bit outside. He doesn't have a lot of film of him beating press, but like against Miami, where he really stood out is he was the only guy that can get open against those Miami cornerbacks. Like the other guys couldn't. Like Surratt had a rough day. Even Becker, Mendoza had to start throwing back shoulders to Becker, which he hasn't done all year in that game because he was getting locked up too. So Cooper really showed that that's where Cooper started to stand out. Because if you watch that film, he's the only guy winning against elite competition on Indiana. So that's where I think he started to stand out. But I think they're really gonna like him because he's the perfect fit. Makai Lemon too. I don't know where Lemon's gonna go, but things can fall. But they're gonna like Lemon a lot too. They are. If they like his attitude, I don't know about that, but they're gonna like him. Concepcion is another guy that could maybe be there. But I don't know. These guys could fall, or they could kind of go late first, and that's what I'm saying. That's where we get to maybe they trade up, and then Denzel Boston too. So it's kind of like the top guys I would say they have their focus on. But like later rounds, it's like Jeremy Bernard. I think they're gonna love Bernard. I stick with that. Bernard blocks, catches everything. He only had one drop last year. Runs great routes, can move around. Savvy player, very smart guy. They brought around Zachariah Branchlot. I don't know if I like him that much though, but they on that. I think they're gonna like Bryce Lance from North Dakota State and Skylar Bell too. I think those are a couple guys they are gonna like. And a secret one for me is Deshaun Stribling, because Stribling blocks his ass off. So Kubiak might like that and maybe say something he could work with. But those are just some guys off the top of my head that I really like.
I know you personally like them. It's just the problem with some of the guys. All right, Bryce Lance, and like let's say Stribling. Do you think they look at like it's hard because it's like, man, there's new people in the building, so you don't know how they feel about the players that are already on the roster. And I brought up Thornton earlier, and looking at him like he's a project, and then you look at like Bryce Lance project. Wouldn't you say he's a project at receiver? Because he's coming from a small school. Athleticism is
a little bit.
It's just you know what I mean, like, or do you feel like you've seen enough of what he did in college where he's like, hey, this translates where he could do this against better competition?
See, the thing is, like, when you watch Bryce Lance, it's like it's two different films, because this year he had Cole Payton, which Cole Payton was just throwing deep balls, right? So he had looked like a totally different receiver. But I think the year before, when you had Cam Miller, who didn't have a big arm at all, he was a possession guy. So I think there's some versatility to him. Even and he's 6'3" and he runs a 4.3. I think that's something like if you want to get him in the later rounds, it's something you can mold in, right? When you have these Beshes and Thorntons, and you can see if those guys work out, and you can kind of bring him along a little bit with him. So I like his game, because I know he can do two different things. Like if you just need him right now to run deep routes and beat people over the top, he can do that. And then he can start developing the rest of his game that way. But there's something I know he can do right now in the NFL, but he does have a lot of him on tape being that possession guy. So if you see him on film being able to do both, that's when there's some versatility there and there's some upside to him as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I see what you're doing. You're kind of like, you can project him a little bit more than, like, let's say a Dante Thornton. You like looking at him, you felt like he was more of a project than coming out.
Yeah. Well, Thornton's more of a project because he's stiff as hell, and he's not really a good route runner, right? Like, and that was the thing. Like, you're basing it fully off him being 6'5" and running a 4.3. With Thornton, that's what you're basing all off. It wasn't really off his talent or anything like that. I see Bryce Lance run routes. I mean, he's running slant routes. He's running he ran like a West Coast offense at North Dakota. Is this year he ran one route because he only threw the ball 8 times a game. So it was post route, deep route, and then it wasn't a lot of I would say versatility. But then if you go back and watch the film with him and Cam Miller, it's a totally different wide receiver. I thought about that, like, when I watched it this past year. and I, because we watched Cam Miller last year in the summer, just trying to get ready. I didn't remember Bryce Lance running deep routes back then. So that's kind of, I know that he's a versatile guy like that. The 4.3 caught me off guard, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I didn't know he was that fast. And you add any 6'3", it says a lot. So that's why. And and they love FCS guys, man. I'm telling you, don't be shocked.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, I know. It was so random. Oh, that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, that was so random how they didn't even give Melott even a chance to even. If he was a project, if they're going to change him to another position, he was going to be a project. Then, like, I would think he would get at least 1 year just to see it through. But that's been there, but then did that, whatever. That's an old conversation. But Ted Hurst, a lot of people talking about DJs like, hey, Ted Hurst, please. Are you higher on Ted Hurst, or do you feel like they're about the same for you, right?
I would say
like third, fourth. Are you looking third, fourth, or you?
Yeah, third or fourth. Yeah, third or fourth. I think you could probably get Bryce Lance in the fourth, even though I think he's a little better than that. But I think you can get him there just because he didn't go to the Senior Bowl or anything, which I think would have lifted up his stock. Because like Christian Watson, that's how he became a first round pick. Is he went to the Senior Bowl and just destroyed everybody. So Bryce Lance didn't do that. So but Ted Hurst did go to the Senior Bowl, right? And I don't think he stood out as much as I really wanted him to. I was really expecting a little bit more from him. But the thing is with him is that he is a tall player that can actually play like a Z role because he has that flexibility and hip bend. He's not stiff. He's not a stiff tall guy. So you can run him deep a little bit. You can run some different routes. He has good flexibility. He's in and out of his breaks pretty quick. Has some good yak ability too, in my opinion. So there's a lot to like about him. He catches everything. He's a big red zone threat. So there is some high upside with Ted Hurst as well. That you could probably get him at 67. I don't know. Maybe he goes a little higher. It depends, but I still think with some of the smaller school guys that kind of still fall off, especially like somebody like him. He went to the Senior Bowl and didn't like stand out. Like he had like a cool one-handed catch over somebody's head, but you wanted to see like him win more. Like Chris Johnson went out there and he competed, so that's why his buzz is out there.
Ted Hurst wasn't killing it.
No, he wasn't killing at the Senior Bowl. No, he did not.
Oh,
it was cool. He was
a popular name this whole offseason, to be honest with you, starting with the Senior Bowl. But you're saying that when you were there, you're like, it was cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like Christian Watson. Like Christian Watson went out there and just set the world on fire. Like who the hell is this guy? Or you know what I mean? And that's what when you're a smaller school guy, you really got to come out like that. You got to come out and be guns blazing to kind of get that first round buzz. I mean, even like Cooper Kupp is a great example. He ended up going third round, but he East of Washington, nobody knew who he was. He went out to the Senior Bowl and just started eating people up, and you're like, who the hell is that? Right. And you didn't see that from Ted Hurst, so that's why I still think that he might be a fourth round guy. I think he's a guy like maybe Draft Twitter and Draft Media might be a little higher on because you didn't see that dominance from him at the Senior Bowl. You know what I mean?
I see, man. Man, I want to bring you along in this conversation too, man. Is obviously we're talking about the receiver position. Is there anybody that you like from the receiver group that like you would want the Raiders consider maybe as early in the second round, or maybe there's a guy that you like but not as early as in the second, maybe a later round guy?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, if I'm keeping it a buck, man, I don't really want to take a wide receiver in the second round unless there's a couple of people that end up there. I think the value, at least for this year, would be investing just immediately in the trenches. Also, that depends on who's sitting there, right? If like Amari Cooper is sitting there, like I think we take him in a heartbeat, man. You can pair those two guys up 1-2 immediately. I like KP Concepcion. I know I've watched Tape Don't Lie. I know Marcus thinks he has drop issues. So, I mean, it's understandable. I get it. I mean, maybe those will follow him to the league. We'll see. Yeah. But I do like just the explosiveness after the catch. That's something that I really liked. And obviously like Denzel Boston too. That's someone that would have to at least pause and consider there. But in the later rounds, man, I do like Jeremy Bernard a lot as well. Skylar Bell. And then from there, I mean, not Skylar Bell, Chris Bell, and then Jacoby Lane as well. I like the size, getting that later in the draft there as well. But I don't know, man. I think that the way that I'm looking at this season, it's like we're probably gonna have a high first round pick next year. You know what I mean? We're probably gonna. So it's like, can we kind of project into the future and be like, all right, we can for sure get a number one in this next upcoming draft in the middle of the first. and or even maybe in the beginning of the second. We don't know what the wide receivers look like coming out per se. Like we can't really forecast that, but like I think that it may be a mistake to try to fit someone into that number one role if those guys that I mentioned weren't there in the second round. It's like I think it may be a mistake to grab someone in the third round. We could be getting someone else at a key position and investing in the future rather than just trying to force it and being like, okay, because we already got projects in the building, right? I mean, we already got homeboy from TCU. I forget why, Jack Besh. I don't know why I was forgetting his name. Jack Besh. We didn't really get to see him play football, and I agree. It's like it is kind of concerning to hear him be described as a football player instead of a wide receiver. That's raising my eyebrows for sure. It's like, damn, dude, the best attribute you have as a wide receiver is the block, and it's like, damn, I kind of need you to do more with your hands than that. You know, like there's another aspect to the position that you need to do. So like, I think giving him some grace to maybe grow into a role there as well. But I kind of see him as just. He's kind of like a tight end, like a move tight end, the kind of undersized tight end. I know he played that in the past, so I could see him fitting really well with Brock Bowers, actually kind of backfilling that role if maybe Brock gets hurt in this offense. I could see him kind of filling in that way. Obviously, he's not going to get the same amount of production likely because, I mean, Brock's a freak, but I could see him kind of backfilling that position as well and just kind of assessing what we got in the room already with Jalen Naylor too. It's like, okay, we're kind of paying him to be a number one. I kind of want to see him get the opportunity before we just kind of immediately throw someone into the room when we could get, you know, a defensive tackle like, what's his name? Not Jaden McDaniels. What's his name? Damn, from Ohio State.
The wide receiver that in this class.
No, Caden McDonald from. I'm talking about the DT. I think I'd prefer to go that route in the second round, invest in the trenches, then go wide receiver. But yeah,
for sure. Yeah, no, I think this conversation is about like the position and some of the guys that we like. It doesn't mean that they should draft them if there are other guys on the board that are better prospects.
Got it.
Hey, I don't know, Marcus, if you agree with this. BPA in a second.
Yeah, they have to. They have to do that. I think,
there's so many positions that they can go. Like, obviously, if Caden McDonald's there, I don't know if you're high on him. That can be a possibility, especially because I don't think we have like a true nose tackle on the roster, so that can be an option. We talked about safety. McNeil Warren, if he's there, that could be an option. So the Raiders can go a lot of different directions. The way I'm looking at it is, if there are some guys that are there. You take them at 36. Now, another possibility is that they trade down. Are y'all like? I mean, Marcus, are you against a trade down, or do you want to take the guy that you feel like is that guy?
No. I kind of want them to trade back, but I want them to be able to have the board right where they feel like they can get one of these guys we're talking about,
right,
with a trade back. Like I want, that and that's on Spy Tech, knowing what other people are going to do too. I think you have a really good GM who could trade back and understand things. He has to understand what other teams are looking for, right? Because like if McNeil Warren's falling, right? If he starts falling, right, and Spy Tech has a good idea that if I go back to 45 or something like that, right, I could still get him. Then yeah, I think they should do that because I think 36 is just a little funky spot for me, where like. You could have some guys fall, but I still think you could trade back to like 45 or 50. And you can get a guy that's just as good as that, right? At any of these positions, right? I mean, it won't be that much of a difference. Like, and I like Emmanuel McNeil Warren a lot, but what's the difference between him and AJ Halsey? Like, what is the huge difference there? Where if I go back and I get AJ Halsey at 50 with some extra picks, right? Do I still feel good about the safety position, right? I got a guy that I can move around, kind of do the same thing Emmanuel McNeil Warren does, play against higher competition, a little bigger player, a little bit faster player too, a little more explosive. And I trade back and get him at 50 instead of taking Warren at 36. And then I get more picks to kind of fill in some of these other things. Like if I want another wide receiver, I get that. That's what the mindset I want them to have, is try to figure out where you at in the board, and then, get some more picks, because I still think picking at 36 is just a little funky to me in this draft, because this draft is deep with the depth, but like the high level players, right, that we're all talking about, once you get to 36, like the depth guys are right there with them. So it's like you might as well kind of trade back to that. So
trade back, and then like pick up a couple of hopefully, at least one top 100 pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can grab a couple of players at different positions on the roster. I get you. That I was thinking about that all the way, but it's just there's certain players that are on the board where I'm like,
yeah,
exactly.
I'm taking Katie McDonald, or I'm taking. It's like I don't know. Is Denzel okay? Is Denzel okay? I'm just gonna go through names. You just let me know if these are guys that are like you take them or you trade out of. Like, is Denzel Boston? You drafting him at 36 or you trading down?
Oh, I take Boston at 36. I mean, I'm high as hell on Boston. So
D tackle from Alabama, Christian Miller. You drafting him or you trading down?
Trade down because I think I can still get him.
That's what I'm saying, man. McNeil Warren. We were talking about him. You draft him at 36 or you trading down?
I would take him at 36. I would.
36. I would. So there's a few players that you probably Peter Woods, if he's there at 36, are you taking him at 36 or are you?
I don't know. If Peter Woods is falling, I feel like I could trade back and still get him.
Yeah. Because it just feels like Peter Woods going into the season was like supposed to be that guy, and then like he just had a rough season, and his whole draft process, like it feels like he's one of those guys where he can go in the first, but then he could easily drop out of the first. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him because I know he had a tough season, and I know that was one of the guys that you guys broke down early on too. As well, man. Make sure to check that out on Tape Don't Lie. Now, we all know the number one pick is going to be Mendoza. Mendoza. But this whole the whole draft process, I kind of seen it coming. They were gonna just find every little thing that they can pick apart about Mendoza and try to like take him down and try to like bring him down. And we all kind of knew what Mendoza was a little bit. Like he wasn't like the next like Andrew Luck coming out or like the super traits guy, but he has certain things going on for him where people were kind of making it seem like it was like all right, let me put it this way. Let me ask you this. Would Mendoza go number one in a lot of these drafts that we've had over the last few years? I mean, outside of the Caleb Williams one, I don't know how you feel about Cam Ward. But then Bryce Young,
he goes over Cam Ward. I think he goes over Cam Ward.
Goes over. Okay. All right. We got that established. Okay. Then how about the draft with CJ Stroud and Bryce Young?
Ooh, that's a good one. Like he won the national championship at Indiana. We're still going like.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You got to. You got to stack them up like that.
I don't know if I would have him. If me personally would have him rated over CJ Stroud. I think he would go before him though, but I don't know if I would have him rated over CJ coming out. Like, even though there's some things like I didn't like about CJ, I would have him like him and CJ kind of equal. But I was high on Anthony Richardson in that draft, so I don't really want to talk about that. So.
Hey man, the truth will set you free, dog.
I was betting on. Do you feel like Mendoza would go number one on some of these drafts? I mean, like, because I'm thinking about, and I'm with you, Marcus. I was like, hey, I was looking at like the ceiling with Anthony Richardson, but I had to come back to reality, man. If these guys haven't had that much experience, like it's almost not gonna. It's guaranteed it's not gonna work.
Never work.
That's what scares me about Ty Simpson a little bit. It's just like we've never seen anybody with that amount of starts be successful. Or
My bad. That's why I was happy Dante Moore didn't come out, because that probably would have been a conversation. I mean, if you talk about Mendoza right now, if Moore came out, that conversation would have been crazy, right? And that was the scary thing about him, is that he didn't have enough starts, But like he might have been able to win the Raiders over. You never know. You know what I mean? So that would have been super interesting. He came out, that's what. But Simpson, you're right, man. Like, not enough starts. It's crazy. I did a study on that, and like it hasn't failed yet. So.
Yeah. I know Arlovsky was like, he doubled down. Like, this guy, he's my number one guy. I feel, and then he tried to, what he did? He cleaned it up at the end where he was like, I feel more comfortable taking Ty Simpson at 20 than I am taking Mendoza at number 1. So kind of in a way, he's trying to like, just in case it doesn't work out, he's just basically saying, oh, well, Mendoza shouldn't be number 1 pick or whatever the case would be. But Minute, like, do you feel like Mendoza will be a guy that would go number 1 in a lot of drafts? Because it just seems like he's 6'5", 230. I think he has a really good arm. I don't think he has a great, you know.
Yeah, I think if he had the run in a vacuum too, like we're looking at Bryce Young coming out that year, right? Because he has all that hype, right? And then that crazy run that CJ Stroud had in the playoffs that year. Because honestly, I wasn't really sold on CJ Stroud throughout that entire season until I saw him play in the playoffs. I mean, you can't really tell with like Ohio State's schedule, right? They play like 4 or 5 tough teams, really. They have their big game against Michigan, you know, and like some stinkers here and there, but like, and they're always supremely talented. So after seeing him, I think it was the Georgia game where he went bar for bar with that team, and then they lost on that missed field goal. I was like, okay, I could see CJ Stroud, like his stock kind of rose in my book. But just hindsight, dude, this dude's 6'5", 235 pounds and can win from the pocket. You know, and I don't think it's the sexiest thing in the league right now. I think there is kind of a change happening amongst coaches and like, not coaches really, but more so just philosophy with the game, right? We're running the ball more. Everything's play action. We're trying to get more people in the box so we can hit them deep. After seeing, you know, this Patrick Mahomes, like these like one-offs, right? We wanted people that are scrambling, that are exciting and stuff. We see a lot of that coming out of college football, but how sustainable was that? I mean, we're seeing a lot more success out of Bryce Young, but I think I'm taking Mendoza. I'm probably taking Mendoza in 1 in that draft. I think so. Like it's going to be real close. It'd be between him and CJ Stroud, but I'm probably taking him 1. Just, I mean, the school he came from, the people he's doing it with, and the teams that he overcame along that whole, there was nothing given, and he was looking flawless. He had I think he had 5 touchdowns and 3 incompletions in one game, made it look easy. Obviously the coaches are doing their thing, making it easy for him to play football, but I'm looking for a quarterback that could execute like at that level and be efficient, not someone that's, you know, running around and making these like just incredible, immaculate, like, oh my God, I can't believe he made this throw. But it's like, how sustainable is that when everyone is that much faster, that much stronger, your team is that much worse, the playing field's even, you know, like you can't really project that. Give me the guy, the underdog has the NFL size, maybe not the strongest arm, but a pretty strong arm, and he's healthy. You know, with Ty Simpson, it's like we see him play for 1 season, but he couldn't even stay healthy that entire year. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, that's the one thing that I think Dan Orlovsky didn't take that. Like, it's like, come on, man. We're talking about like these dudes are 320 pounds coming off the edge. You know, they're gonna kill this dude. Like, we've only seen a couple folks like Drew Brees, you know, really have a long career like that, especially nowadays. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm taking him, but if it's the Caleb Williams draft, I can see him going before Bo Nix and before Michael Penix. I'll say that. I don't think he goes before those other guys though, because they just have a plus when it comes to their just athletic ability, and I do think that they had more than enough starts to really show the projection, right, is going to be higher than what we've seen from Mendoza at his 2 stops.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Hey, real quick, man. Hey, shout out to my guy Silver. In fact, he says, which player will make you throw this shit at the TV at 36? Bro, that's I mean, you talking to a Raider fan over here, man, that witnessed Janikowski get drafted in the 1st round. So
I know.
You know, Hayward Bay get drafted over Crabtree. I remember when it Crabtree that year. But I mean, Marcus, I guess to start with you, like, who do you think would be a guy?
You know, like probably like if they drafted like Jadarian Price.
They've drafted a running back. That would be so ugly. Yeah, that would be ugly. That'd be ugly.
Perfect fit for them though. I mean, zone guy, you know what I'm saying? High level back, but that would be something like that. I would say like my second part, even though I like this guy, he just annoys me for some reason. I don't know why, but Blake Miller from Clemson.
Okay. Offensive tackle.
It would bother me, but like he might be a good player still. It just would bother me because I just don't like how he's so big and he's that athletic, but he just doesn't like kill everybody around him. He's like this little finesse guy. He's good tackle though, and the Raiders are good.
Colton Miller Jr.
Yeah, a little bit. I think Colton's a little meaner. I think Monroe Freeling's more like Colton Miller, right? Because Monroe Freeling and Blake Miller are the same size. Like a lot of people don't know that, but those two are both 6'7", 34-inch arms, 315-pound dudes. But Blake Miller doesn't have that same. He's not getting the same buzz as Freeling, even though he has 52 starts, right? And he's just as athletic, but because there's something missing on the film, and nobody really wants to talk about it, but there's something missing there. And that's like kind of my thing. Maybe you could bring it out of him, but he's just too nice for me to be that big and playing tackle.
Yeah, man, who's a guy that you be like, man, come on, what are the Raiders doing?
Elijah Surratt, dude. If they take that man in the second round at 36, and like you have options, right? Let's say that at least one of the three guys we were talking about earlier, right? We have like Concepcion, Boston. We'll say Cooper is gone. We'll say that Bernard's there as well, even though he's probably going to go round 3. Like, and they take Elijah Surratt. I would just be hella disappointed. I'd be like, man, like I don't know, man. I would turn off the TV and probably drive in silence for a while just to clear my head, dog. Cause like it's just that would make no damn sense.
I feel you, man, because he's like he's just another Jack Besh, right? Wouldn't you say like another kind of like big slot? When you say
maybe with less ability, we don't know. Like maybe.
He's the college back shoulder guy. He's like Lacan Treadwell. You remember him? He's the college back shoulder guy.
Yeah. Oh, and I remember you okay, I wanted to, because I remember you said that earlier. You were like, man, like you could tell like guys weren't getting open because they were throwing a lot of back shoulders to one of the receivers from Indiana. Yeah. Do you think the reason why Mendoza threw so many back shoulders is because that's pretty much what he had at wide receiver, because that's really what they can do? You know what I mean? Yeah. Omar Cooper, he could do a little bit more, get it open in different ways compared to Elijah Surratt. But like Surratt, he did that a lot with. I know the other guy, I'm trying to remember his name, other Indiana receiver.
Charles Becker.
Becker, who he might be better than, I think he might be better prospect than Surratt possibly when he enters the draft in the future. But do you think that's a sign of like, oh, okay, this is the reason why Mendoza is doing this, not because this is what he likes to do, it's just because he knows what they're good at?
Yeah, 100%. Especially with Surratt. I mean, him and Surratt they do back shoulders all day, and you could even tell, like, Miami was like playing those back shoulders. They're a little bit ready for it, and then even like when he played Purdue was really ready for it too. So those back shoulders were there. It was just when talk about Mendoza. And one thing I don't think gets talked about enough is that I think some of those Indiana players do get overhyped a little bit, and they were just such an execution team. And the Indiana coach was super mad at the Alabama guys. Have you ever seen this on Twitter? How the Indiana coach got super mad at the Alabama guys, Ty Simpson and those dudes, because they were kind of dogging on Indiana because they thought they're like, these guys aren't good when they watch them on film. They're like, they just do the same thing over and over again, and that's what that's why when I talk about Mendoza winning that championship with those guys, it's like they shouldn't have beat those teams. Like, they shouldn't have beat Miami. Like, you watch that Miami film, and I see people talk about like, oh, his numbers and stuff. Like, bro, you got to watch the film. Like, they were outmatched. Bain was destroying everybody. Messidor was destroying all their tackles. The Ahmad Moten, who didn't come out, who if he would have came out, that was probably DT1. He is destroying Pat Coogan. Like, they had no shot in that game, and they won because they had Mendoza. And that's why I forever mess with Mendoza, and that's why I'm higher on him than most people, because that intangible is always there, where he's the difference, not the team. We could overrate the Indiana team all we want, but it's Mendoza. That's who it is.
Hey, man, he almost beat him with Berkeley the year before. You know what I mean? Like, obviously that Miami team was a little different, but it's like this man he just rises. I love that this man rises. He may not make all the throws during the game, but he'll make the clutch throws when the game's on the line, that third down that you need to run the clock out, just keep the drive going. It's just undeniable.
Yeah. Now, so all right, so you guys are both high on Mendoza. He's going to be the number 1 pick. Obviously, he's going to be the guy for the Raiders. But do you feel like Marcus, like, do you think that it's going to be a transition for him a little bit? Because I know that like they probably want him to get under center, which that's been a talking point with Mendoza, is that like, well, he's only played this many snaps under center, and he's going to possibly get drafted by the Raiders, and the Raiders, they run an offense where they're going to have to get their guy under center. And do you think that's going to be an issue early on, like a little transition?
Adjustment? I hope that's something they get fixed in like mini camp and OTAs, and he just works on that. I don't think this could be something that really goes into the season. You know what I mean? Because that type of situation with Mendoza is just like, I don't think that's something that's going to keep factoring in. If he puts the work in, I mean, you don't see a lot of guys come to the NFL and they're just snaps everywhere at the beginning of the year. But I believe that won't be a problem. I think the transition is also a little bit on the offense that he's in. I think the West Coast offense, like if they really wanted him to be out there, they could make it really easy for him. They could make it half field reads, right?
Yeah.
They could do a lot of that stuff in the West Coast offense where you could really keep what I would say the guardrails or the training wheels on in the West Coast offense, because you don't have to just make everything a full field read. At first, you could have him like pick a side pre-snap. You could have him do all these other different things to kind of make sure that it's easier for him, right? If he has to be out there. But that's probably why they probably don't want to do that. So that's why they bring in Kirk Cousins. And then if he's ready to kind of play everything, or if maybe something happens to Cousins, you might have to go the other route where you're kind of keeping those training wheels on the guy, where, it's like I said, everything's half field, and then you just kind of keep it that way until he eventually gets better, and then you can add everything else to it. But the West Coast system is built that way where you can design it that way. It's not like how Josh McDaniels does, when you just got to throw a rookie quarterback. You got to go play quarterback all the time. You have to be quarterback minded, full field reads. You got to read it pre-snap, post-snap, what the wide receivers are going to do, be on the same page. It's not like that in the West Coast. I could just call like a simple, slant flat to this side, and he just reads it slant flat. He decides check slant flat, check down, spot. It just make it easier on him. You know what I mean? You could do that.
Yeah. And then it just slowly but surely, the more he kind of gets used to the offense and like understands how to play the quarterback position, they're going to give him a little bit more. Give a little bit more. That's the plan when you get like Kirk Cousins in the building. My guy Severe, he's in the chat right now. He says, where was IU's rushing attack and he said, what was IU's rushing attack and defense rank? I guess he's trying to say like Mendoza had plenty of help. That's what his
I mean, he had the Psycho Man Signetti. He had Signetti. That was the Signetti is like basically what I'm saying is that team didn't make mistakes, and that's why the Alabama guys were kind of making fun of him. They're like, that's why the Indiana coaches got mad, because it's the truth. Like when you watch them on film, they didn't do too much. Like even with the Mendoza system, like this RPOs, kind of everything simple, everything structured, so you don't make mistakes. Like if you like safety Lewis Moore, right? He's probably gonna go 5th or 6th round maybe, but when you watch him on film, like he doesn't do anything wrong, right? And the only reason you're kind of holding it back is because of the athleticism overall. But on film, he looks great because the whole structure of that defense and everything they do is just it's precision all the time. That's why they don't do false starts, they don't make mistakes, they don't do penalties, and now it's precision, simplified precision, and that's kind of how that offense and defense worked. And when you're in college football and you have Signetti, who is a great game planner and has all those things right, I mean, it's going to make those players look a little better than they are. That's all I'm saying. I'm not in a vacuum. Like if you kind of separate it and it's just Miami versus Indiana, that's why Miami, even though they were down in that game, at some point they just started overpowering them. Like they couldn't stop Tony. Like Tony was just running all over them. Like, right. It was like an overpowering thing where you felt like, Miami might even take that game because they were just a more talented team. And then when you watch it on all 22, it's clear as day, man. Those dudes had I have no idea how Indiana won that game. I still don't. I think about that a lot. Like I mean, if Carson Beck was just a little bit better, if he just made like 2 more throws, then Indiana loses, and we're having a totally different conversation here. So
Signetti, man, he's gonna be it seemed like he's gonna be the Nick Saban for the next few years. He's that guy. He's that dude, man. Google me. That's basically.
Because he's gonna do something with Josh Hoover too. It's gonna cause a conversation because I think Hoover's gonna go over there.
Hey,
yeah,
Josh,
he was nice last year. He was low key kind of nice. Yeah,
Josh Hoover is nice, but it's just him going to Indiana makes it it's super interesting. Like, is he gonna get coached up? That's
because Cignetti coached Phillip Rivers in college too. Like he was his quarterback coach at NC State, so he has this track record of coaching up quarterbacks. Like Mendoza's feet was terrible at Cal, right? His feet are awful. And Cignetti, even when he talked about it, that's the first thing he talked about. I got to fix his feet. I fixed those things, which made him more accurate this year. So Cignetti is he's just a guru, dog. He's a savant with quarterbacks too.
Damn, I wanted my guy Brendan Sorsby to go to Indiana, man. I wanted to
first round, he might have beat Arch Manning, bro. If he did that.
But he ended up going
Texas Tech though.
Texas Tech is cool, but like I just hope do they have guys there that can coach him up, like to get him, ready for, that's a whole different kind. I think the talent is there. But I don't know, like, will he take that next step? Will he get better? And
I think he'll have the opportunity for sure. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're going to take him to the championship, but I think he'll have the opportunity to shine and show that he's a top 15 quarterback if that's really who he is. They have a lot of money going to Texas Tech, that program. He's going to have some wideouts. He's going to have a decent offensive line, I think the truth is going to be told next year with how he plays, unless he gets hurt.
Because the one thing I noticed with Sorsby, I know it's off topic, but with him, he's boom or bust. It just seemed like he was always searching for that big play. It was never like him kind of like surgically going down the field, and because every time he played like a really good defense and they took away like a lot of the big plays, you just never see him kind of like maybe that speaks to maybe the players around him. Like he didn't have like really elite weapons. I mean, the guy that like I think one of the receivers is getting drafted this year, he tested well, but it didn't look like that on the football field.
You can tell about Cyrus Allen.
No, I guess a couple guys are gonna get drafted, but later in the later rounds. But I was talking about Codwell. He had a crazy like 40+ inch vert, 4.3 speed, 6'5", 6'4". But like you didn't see that when you watched Cincinnati. Like you didn't see that speed or that type of explosiveness when you watched him play. But that's neither here. Before you get out of here, man, I want to touch on a couple of positions. You mentioned running back. You said Jadarian Price. I know obviously that won't happen, but like what are some later round guys? I'm thinking like round 4 is where you could start thinking about it, because like they got 3 4th-round picks as of right now. And the Raiders running back position is literally Genty, and I don't know if anybody else in that room is going to make out of training camp.
I don't think so too. I don't know, unless they really like Dylan Lobby.
Yeah, and he's been hanging on. He's a good locker room guy. I'll give him that. Like he seemed like he's a funny dude, goofy and stuff like that. But man, he's gonna have to do something spectacular this offseason. But who are guys that you would consider around rounds 4 that could be available, that could complement their Genty and because I know early on in the offseason, I don't know how much you took. How you took this serious was when Clint Kubiak came in the building. They asked him about like the running back room, and they were like, "Hey, are you gonna be running it?" He's like, he clearly said like, "I want to run a 2-back system."
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Genty's the guy. We all know Genty's the guy, but I'm sure he wants a guy that's capable, that he can hand the ball off if Genty's not in the game or in different spots. But is there anybody that you would take that can take on that role in this draft? I mean, it's ugly. To me, it's ugly.
Yeah, there's a couple guys. So I like Emmett Johnson from Nebraska. You could talk about whether he is a zone back, right? But I think he catches the ball well. He catches the ball like a wide receiver, and he has great hands. And so he's kind of the third back mold. And he's kind of that little check down guy where he checks something down, he can make like 2 guys miss and get you some first downs. So they met with him they did a formal interview with him at the combine. So I know they're interested in him. So that might be a guy. The guy for me though, that I think they are really gonna like. There's 2 guys. So Jonah Coleman. They're going to like Jonah Coleman because Coleman's an outside zone guy from Washington, right? Coleman has, he's a great blocker. I mean, there's a video of him blocking the hell out of Sonny Styles if you've seen it. But he can block, right, and he can catch the football too. You talk about his speed. He's kind of the same size as Genty, but he's an outside zone guy from Washington. It's a little bit of a plug and play type of thing. And like I said, he has those third down things where he can block and things like that if you need to get a breather.
Yeah.
But my sneaky guy is Jamari Taylor from Virginia. I think Taylor is probably, in my opinion, like one of the best zone backs in this draft when it comes to like vision and seeing things in outside zone and especially wide zone, what Kubiak likes to do. Like he is that type of guy that could come in and be like that outside zone guy that gets drafted late and becomes like a really great running back in that system. Like the type of guy that they would plug in Denver who just fits that. Like, like Arian Foster, right? Like, Foster, if he went somewhere else instead of what he was doing with Shanahan and Kubiak, with the Texans, does he become that great player for that while? But because he was a perfect fit for what they wanted to do in that wide zone, which is what Kubiak is going to do. Clint Kubiak runs that style wide zone. I think Jamari Taylor is that perfect guy where he has that one cut ability, great vision in it. He presses when he needs to press. He cuts back when he needs to cut back. And he ran zone 74% of the time in Virginia. So it's something that he does really well. And I think you can get him in the 5th round where, because he's an older player too. He's 24. So, he's not going to be that real coveted player. But I think he's the guy you can get like in the 5th round and, wait a little bit and he can make some plays for you. And like if Genty went down, he could become that back because he's like, I tell you, he's like a sneaky, perfect fit for it. Like if the Shanahans get him, that he might become a better back than we actually think.
Yeah. So, and a lot of the guys you're pointing out are scheme fits. They fit exactly what they're going to run on offense. I mean, there's a guy that I mentioned the other day that possibly might be there in the 4th. From a physical standpoint, it's like he's kind of intriguing, but he kind of gives me a little bit of Zamir White vibes. Nicholas Singleton.
Oh, yeah.
Penn State. Got the guys, he's built, man. He's like 6'1", I think like 6'1", 220. Has breakaway speed, can catch at the backfield.
Yeah.
The vision is a question with Singleton. Is that like, I mean, Marcus, y'all can take this. Like, do you think that like that can get better? Like when a vision is questioned coming out, like, is that something that you can get better, or is that something that it's either you got or you don't?
If you don't got it in college, dog, I feel like it's going to be difficult to learn that in the NFL. Like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of, it's an instinctual thing. It's like, it's innate to the position. It's just, you have like these spidey senses, you know what I mean? When you have the ball in your hands, and that's why you remain a running back, as you get older, you're like, oh no, like running backs and linebackers have like these weird, like telepathic, like senses that allow for them to fill holes. They just see it. And they're able to go, they take the body there in the most efficient manner, right? They don't take any of these extra steps and they just get through and they burst through. Like, that's why I think it's dangerous with these guys that are just all speed and size. I mean, obviously we saw it the last 3 years, right? With Zamir White. It's kind of sad because he's like, man, you have all these tools, but you're so damn stiff and you just can't see these wide ass open holes when they're there. And you're running right back. And go ahead.
He was, real quick, not to cut you off, and you can go on. Was he better in like a different type of blocking scheme?
The gap scheme, yeah.
And that's what I'm kind of scared about, Genty. But go on, go ahead.
I don't know. I would stay away from the big fast dude. That's stiff, that has vision issues. When you have, you just have like your pick from a whole bunch of other dudes that can be complementary backs that could move the chains. Because I mean, I see the appeal of like the one cut back that's bursting through the hole. He's down like 60 yards, but how many times does that really happen in the NFL? I'd rather have the guy that can give me 20 yards here, 15 yards there, 4 yards to go along with Genty and just rip the hair out of defensive coordinators. And we're doing a wide zone play action bootleg and we're throwing over their head. I'd rather do that than rely on someone that maybe run into the back of their offensive lineman because they can't see or like make the correct cut in that zone system.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they would like Katron Allen more than they would like him too, because Katron ran wide zone. And take a spot. But like Singleton was like the power guy, and then when Allen was in, they would run some more wide zone type of stuff, and then that's when Allen started to take off a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, and it's funny too with the running back position. It's like athleticism really doesn't matter as much in that position. It's like there's a threshold. There's for sure like a threshold that you got to have, but you don't necessarily have to be have 4.3 speed. Like for a corner, I can see like why you would want to be like fast, because like you want your corner to be like probably one of the most athletic players out there. But like for a running back, they don't necessarily have to have like 4.3 speed. Now I will say this to and maybe y'all could like speak to this, is that like when you say the NFL is trying to find ways to get more explosive, and they're kind of using the running game to do that. The last few years, you know what I mean? Because and I'll give Genty, he had some explosive plays last year, but like when you say my guy Severe, this is his guy, he kind of put me on to him, but he, we'll Damon Claiborne. I mean, how do you feel about him out of Georgia Tech, I believe? Outside zone guy, he can play in that outside zone, but he's not the biggest guy.
Yeah.
And there's some questions about him on third down.
I'm hesitant.
But
go ahead.
He can play special teams though too, as a special
team. Yeah. Because I didn't see too much outside zone from him, because I saw when I watched Wake Forest, they ran a lot of power. So I don't know, maybe I got to watch more games for Claiborne to see that. No,
but like I feel like he could project and play into that just based off like the way he runs. Like it's just.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, he needs like a little bit more patience, but you could teach that. Like, you can't teach vision. I could teach patience though. I can get you to slow down a little bit, kind of see things. Because I think Claiborne, like and that's what I mean when you're in power system, because he's like kind of see it, hit it, and I think that you have to kind of especially with zone, you have to do a little bit more reading and have a little bit more patience. So that would have to be taught to him, because he really is. He sees it and he just goes right. And I don't think I think his line sucked too. So he's hard to evaluate in my opinion, because his line was completely ass. Like so that's hard to evaluate. When you're at Wake Forest and you're playing ACC teams, and every time you touch the ball, like somebody's in your face, and he's not the type of make or miss guy. So he was kind of a little bit harder to evaluate. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of projection with him a little bit. But I do think when he sees it and he hits it, like it is explosive. But I just kind of work with the zone. Like he's got to have more patience in reading it, which you could teach that though. You could teach that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, no, he's just one of those guys where like I like the explosiveness. I like the special teams value. I like him as a runner, but it's just when they question your hands, pass protection, you playing on third down, it's like, ooh. And you're not the biggest guy too. And like there's how are you going to deal with like basically physical defenses? Like, are you going to be able to break tackles? Like, it's a guy that just, you come in. Maybe he could be that guy. Like, he was a free agent this year out of Baltimore. Speedy.
I know you're talking about.
I'm forgetting his name, but I was just looking at some of this guy, and I don't know. Shout out to Severe. He was the first one to bring him up, but yeah, man. There's different options that the Raiders can go after at running back. That's a position I think they kind of will maybe possibly look into in the later rounds. Real quick, last position, tight end. Do you think that's a position that they prioritize in getting with Michael Mayer on his last year of his deal? A need for a blocking tight end. I mean, the NFL needs a blocking. It's a lot. All these move tight ends. Do you think that they prioritize in getting a guy that can block, especially because Brock Bowers, he's going to be the number one option on offense. You're going to want to run the football. You probably want a guy that can complement your overall philosophy on running the football and also the skill set of what Brock Bowers brings to the table. And you want a guy that can be dominant blocking, right? Yeah. Where do you start looking for that guy, and who are guys that you like?
I mean, to be honest, I mean, in this draft for the tight ends, I mean, most of the guys are move tight ends. I mean, the best ones in there are the move tight ends. I mean, besides Max Clare, right, from Ohio State, which he didn't get a lot of what I would say targets though, but he actually is a pretty good route runner. He blocks pretty well, and he can make some plays out there. But he just didn't get the targets. I mean, he's playing with Tate and Smith. I mean, the only game that he got targets in is what the game Tate and Smith didn't play. I guess it was like against, I think it was, I forgot, it was like either Minnesota or something like that.
Mhm.
And he caught like 9 catches or something like that. And had a pretty damn good game. That's where you could see him as a wide receiver. So I think teams and he had a really good Senior Bowl. He went out to the Senior Bowl and nobody could guard him. So he's a guy that, you know, maybe they might like if they feel like Mayer might not be that guy, right? But I think you know, with the blocking tight ends, there's like Nate Borkircher from Texas A&M, who is a blocking tight end. He's not really a pass catcher, but he'll block all day. You know, Will Kazmarek, who is I was just talking about Max Clare's teammate from Ohio State. All he did was block. So I mean, maybe that's a late guy. But you know, then you got Norikowski too from Riley, who I think is more of a fullback because you know he didn't really play tight end a little bit at Indiana. Like he lined up as a tight end. He's more of like an H-back, kind of like Connor Hayward is, right? Connor Hayward's kind of his fullback, but that's kind of the same thing you would do with him. So yeah, those are some guys, a couple guys. I mean, like I said, it's a weird tight end class because there's not a lot of blocking tight ends, to keep it real, but those are kind of the best ones.
Did you mention Sam Roush from Stanford?
Well, Sam Roush is kind of like the mixture, right? He's kind of like
he could do a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, right? I don't think he's the best route runner in the world, but he blocks pretty well. He can just catch everything. But he just feels like just a basic tight end in the league. Like you could probably get him some good plays here and there, and you know maybe he could help you on the red zone a little bit. But he's not going to be like a standout guy. So he could be that backup maybe if they go that route. But I still think that he, you know, he's if they draft Sam Roush, they draft Max Clare, that says a lot about Michael Mayer. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, how early are you drafting? Like fourth round? Where you start thinking about it? Like they got 3 fourth round picks. After that last 4th round pick, there's a big gap. I think 179, 189 or whatever is going to be their 5th round pick. So that's a lot of picks going by. So they're going to have to like strategically like, all right, well, it's going to be a little bit long way until the fifth round. Do you start looking at? Do you start thinking about it in the 4th, the 5th, 6th? I mean, there's another guy that I don't know if you mentioned Oscar Delp. Did you mention him?
Yeah. No, I did not mention Delp. But Delp is another guy. If they draft him, then Michael Mayer's out of here.
Oh man, but I think he has potential. He could block, and I think he has potential to be actually a factor.
Yeah.
Like just you know, just having that double tight end, like, you know, attack that we've been trying to project with Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers, but we just haven't seen it. And then you know that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. I think you're about to answer a question. My bad.
Yeah, but so it's about where would you draft these tight ends? Right?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like, you know, with Claire and Roush, if you're drafting those guys, they're gonna have to be in the 4th round. Those type of guys. But I think like the guy I talked about from Texas A&M, even like Kazmarek or you know Norikowski, you can get those guys in the 6th. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can get those type of dudes out there.
For sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Severe saying jailbird. So he's talking about Seth McGowan, running back out of.
Oh, yeah, he's talking about
Kentucky. Like, how do you feel about him?
Oh, I love Seth McGowan. I just don't know if he's gonna get drafted or not
because of the off-field stuff, the office stuff.
And he's like 25. He's like 25 now. You know what I mean? But I love his film. That dude runs. He runs like a criminal. Like he's mad. He runs angry. Like he just you know what I mean? Like he
said he runs like a criminal. Hey, he might be a Raider. He might be a.
I was gonna say another word, but I just didn't want to say it.
Yeah, no, I got you. You're hilarious. Hey, Marcus, man, I appreciate you coming through, chopping it up with us, and share your knowledge. Hey, Minted, are you down to do a mock draft on the way out?
Yeah, we can do that for sure.
All right, cool. And I know, Marcus got to be out of here. Marcus, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so find me on Tape Don't Lie on YouTube, right? Also, you can find those on all the Spotify's and Apple podcasts you like to listen to audio. Also check me on Twitter at the NFL as well. So check me out there. And then we got a whole bunch of cool draft stuff. Like we just interviewed Emmett Johnson, running back from Nebraska. So pretty cool about that. That was pretty dope. So yeah, just go check out all the stuff we got over there, and then we'll be live on the draft, both day 1 and day 2, and then we'll be live after the end of the draft on day 3. So.
All right, man, that sounds good, man. We'll be checking it out for sure. The draft is here. Tomorrow, obviously, will be round 1, but I know a lot of Raider fans, it don't start until Friday.
Yeah.
Because we all know it's going to be Mendoza. But it's going to be fun to see how the draft unfolds, to see what player drops, who are the top players available, heading into, round 2. So that's going to be fun to watch and see, man. But Marcus, man, appreciate you coming through, man. Hopefully we have this conversation again.
All right, for sure, guys. Peace out.
All right, peace. All right, man. Hey, my guy Marcus came through, was able to bless us, talk about the draft and all that good stuff, man. I got my guy Minute in the building too as well to join the conversation. We're going to do the last mock drafts. I don't know, Minute, have you been playing around with these mock drafts? Have you kind of been dibbling?
I've been vicariously watching people like kind of go through the mock drafts. I've kind of stuck away this year a little bit, but yeah, no, I've been staying tapped in with everyone's preferences, so to speak. Yes.
I got you. Okay, so let me get this set up here. Okay, boom. You give me just a second, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, so be notified when we go live. Obviously, this is a special edition Around the Shield on Wednesday. We usually do it on Thursday, but y'all know the draft is happening, so we had to move it up just so we can do this mock draft, so it makes sense. Man, salute to everybody pulling up. Yeah, I wish we would have asked Marcus on the way out, but notes on advantage just says criminal.
It says prison.
It says prison, man. That's funny. John says Mayer has been treated like crap from the gate, and he's nice. How's he been treated like crap? How?
Bro's just not available, dog. Like that's the number one thing. It's like you don't get to keep your job if you're never on the field. And like I know he was going through some like personal stuff, but it's just like we haven't seen it, bro. For a second round pick, we haven't seen it.
No, for sure we haven't seen it. He just hasn't been available. His production hasn't matched his hype coming out. Coming out of Notre Dame, he was like, everyone was talking about Michael Mayer being that like number 1 tight end. It was between him and I think he ended up. What was the other tight end? I think he ended up going to Buffalo.
Kincaid? Is there
Kincaid
or Kinnett? Yeah. Kincaid.
Is it Dalton?
Yep.
Yeah. I know it was a tight end that went to Buffalo. It was between, and then obviously he ended up going first, and then Mayer dropped into the second, which was a surprise. Everybody thought that was a big surprise in the Raiders, and the Raiders were actually rumored to trade up. That's what's so crazy about the whole thing. Like they were willing to trade up for Michael Mayer, which is wild.
Man,
but
it's just he can't separate in the NFL, man. Like he can't separate in the pros on like linebackers. It's like I need you to at least be able to do that, man. Like he's a big guy, but it's just like I don't know if you lose weight and try to do that, but then it's like he's okay like blocker, but does that now get affected if he's losing weight? Does he lose strength? Like it's just I don't know. I don't think I want it to be the Raiders' problem though. The next couple of years, I'm cool with seeing him through this year and then kind of giving him his walking papers, so to speak.
No, yeah, facts. Give me just a second. I'm setting up the mock draft. Oh yeah, you're right. Severe right. You're right. Kincaid and Laporta went before him.
Laporta, yep.
Yeah, he went to the Lions. Oh yeah. Laporta, did Laporta go top 15?
I think he went in the 20s. He went in the 20s.
20? Man, that's crazy. Finn says draft love and run the Genty love to it. I think Severe's head would explode if this happened. He would go crazy.
We'd have to do a wellness check, dog. Like it would be tough.
Facts. Yeah, it's time, but that time eventually has to turn into production for you to be given benefit of the doubt. Facts. 100%. So it could be a situation he goes somewhere else and he plays well. Maybe a change of scenery is needed for him. Obviously, the opportunity here is only as a number 2 tight end behind Brock Bowers. Maybe he can go somewhere and compete for that number 1 spot for a team. But I don't know. Do you see it with him? Like, do you see, like, is he that? I don't know.
I think he's the type of dude that you sign in free agency for a year or two. You know what I mean? Just to get you from A to B. Like, not like a Hunter Henry. Who's homeboy that was playing for us? He played 1 year for us with Josh McDaniels. He's kind of like he played for the Browns. He's been all over the place. Damn, what's his name? But I get to see him kind of being a journeyman. He's on competitive teams, contributing in like key moments, but not really that guy. Always kind of like that rotational guy. But
right.
I mean, again, just his availability. It comes down to that, and seeing where he fits into the offense. But I don't know.
Yeah. Minute, how you feeling about a? Hold on 1 second. My bad. 7-round mock draft.
Hey, dog. When in Rome, let's do it, dog. It's okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
Cool. Just want to make sure. Here we go. We about to do it, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. You just missed it. We had obviously Minted in the building. We had Marcus from Tape Don't Lie. You know what I mean? We had a good conversation. So definitely watch the replay if you missed it. But we're about to do this mock draft, this final mock draft before tomorrow's first round. And then obviously Raiders draft doesn't really start until Friday, rounds 2 to 3. And then I think it wraps up on Saturday, I believe, right? Round 4 to 7 on Saturday. That's the usual schedule. Let's see here. All right. So hopefully y'all can see this. Let me know. Boom. We in the building. Cool. All right, here we go. So we going Raiders. Now, do you want to have the flexibility to trade up or down? Or do you want to do it straight up? Oh, I think you muted yourself.
My fault. Yeah, I'm down to trade around. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I got to slow it down a little bit just so we can catch it. All right, round 7, and let's go. Let's enter the draft. And let's see here. So obviously, number 1 pick. We're going to start the draft. Fernando Mendoza. We're not going to overthink this. We're not. I mean, we could.
No Arvell Reese.
We do have 7 teams that are willing to trade up, right? They're like, we got as high as Arizona Cardinals, Giants, Browns, Saints, Steelers, but we're not going to overthink this. We're going to draft our guy, Fernando Mendoza. All right, man. So Mendoza goes number 1. Who goes number 2? Oh, Jeremiah Love goes to the Jets, number 2. Damn. In this version.
Damn.
Yeah.
I got a question for the chat real quick, though. Who do you think starts more games next year? Kirk Cousins or Fernando Mendoza?
Who do you think starts more games, Kirk Cousins or... Ooh. We actually had this question on 50/50 show the other, I think. Recently.
Oh, okay.
It's a good question. We'll
let him marinate on that. We'll let him marinate on that.
I'm gonna, because I said the other day, and I said the other day that he would come at, like, Mendoza would come in at least 4 games into the season, at the earliest. No later than by game 8. By game 8, like halfway through the season, I think like, all right, Mendoza time. But my shout to Severe, man, he was like, nah, like he's thinking maybe it's gonna be the majority of the season, maybe like 4 games left. Mendoza comes in.
Man, yeah, I mean, I think that would. Well, ideally, he starts and he plays well, right? I think that's like the best situation. But realistically, I think it's somewhere in between, man. I think it's like after the bye week. I think after the bye week, they're going to give Kirk Cousins a lot of like room to kind of sink, and just see what the season looks like. They may be fielding, phone call. People might not want to hear this. Maybe fielding phone calls for Max Crosby, depending on how the season goes. And I think at that moment, if it's the bye week, we're getting rid of Max, I think he plays right after that. But I think it's going to be around the bye week just to give him an extra week of preparation to go in if it does go there. Because really, can Kirk stay healthy too? He looked better at the end of the year. But man, if he plays well, then it might be hard to get him off the field. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be after our bye week, though, is going to be the window for him to start playing. I don't think they're going to push it before that, unless he's just lights out.
The only reason why I'm leaning toward Mendoza is that we've watched these seasons come and go, and we've seen, like, if Kirk Cousins plays terribly, and the Raiders are like 1-8 or let's say 1-6, 1-4, you know what I mean? Like 0-4, 0-5. And like, let's say Mendoza had a great preseason and great offseason from what we've heard from what we're hearing out of, Raiders camp, then it's like, it might be a situation where what's the quarterback from the Giants where he came in like I think he came in by like game 3 or 4.
Jackson Dart. Yeah, he came in like 3 or 4, I think. Yeah.
But only
different situation.
Yeah, it's a different situation because I think that we know that the Raiders want to take their time because of Tom Brady and everything that they've said, and like we also know that Fernando, we don't want to throw him into the fire and have like ruin his confidence and yada yada yada. But that's the only thing that makes me think like, hey, you know what? It might be. They might. I'm telling you, and the fans gonna go. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. So you're leaning towards Kurt.
Yeah, I think Kirk's going to start until the bye week, and they're going to reevaluate from there. Yeah, man, I think they're going to really try to slow cook Fernando, even if he is ready, unless he's just like lights out, or it's like a Matt Schaub situation where it's like, damn, this dude's throwing pick sixes, fumbleceptions in the preseason. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like that bad, then I could see it. But I think they're really going to try to get him to just watch the game for a couple of months before putting him in.
Yeah. All right. Well, I do want to talk about a situation, not a scenario, but like Max a little bit, Max Crosby, because there was a little bit of a rumor that we talked about earlier in the week. Before we get into that, round 2, you see who's on the board: Peter Woods, Casey Concepcion, guy that you like. That I got it. I also high on if he's available, if he's there. Christian Miller, obviously, is a guy that some people like here too as well. Maybe a trade down could be possible. We do got someone that's offering a trade, not the compensation, but we'll know what team though.
Oh, they don't show the compensation?
They won't show you. So what they'll do is they'll show the team that's willing to trade up with you. You just got to figure out the combination.
Oh, I see. So 49's a little too far for me anyways, though. I kind of want to pick. I don't want to drop out of like past 44, really. I feel like that would be the threshold. I think there's a good run of players right here.
Okay. So out of what you're seeing here, I mean, I can change the position here. Let's look at wide receivers real quick. Let's take a glance there. I think KC's the only one I'd be comfortable taking here. If I'm the Raiders, I think they may actually do that, but let's go ahead and look at some other places. Defensive, interior. Let's look at let's see. Safety was another position that but these are guys maybe you could wait a little bit for possibly.
I'm not the biggest fan of taking safety in the second round. I would rather wait. Let's look at cornerback. Let's look at cornerback real quick.
Okay.
Chris Johnson. Ooh, Chris Johnson's still there. Yeah, I think we got to go defensive interior here. Man, I'm kind of leaning towards Christian. Okay, we're looking at tackles real quick.
Yeah, my bad. I'm just going through it. So I'm looking at tackles. There's tackles right there. I'm just looking at. Just let me know if like you want to stay on this. There's some guards here available. Maybe it might be a little too high, or maybe.
Yeah, I'm good off guard right here.
Okay. All right. How you feeling?
Man, I like Kristen Miller here. I'm a big Lee Hunter fan, though, as well. I don't like the trade down to 49, though. I don't think he's going to be there. So, and I feel guilty taking Lee Hunter over Kristen Miller if they're both on the board here. I'm not the biggest Peter Woods guy.
So if Concepcion is on the board, you're considering a trade down, or you're considering a trade down, or other players like Christian Miller you would take over Concepcion.
Yeah, I think the Raiders might do the opposite. I think the Raiders would probably take KC Concepcion because I think they actually really like him. But I would go personally. I would go to the trenches. Just get like someone that's going to be your essentially your nose tackle. You know what I mean? Kind of like the ideally Christian Wilkins replacement. In that defense, just to go in tandem with Max as long as we have him. I don't know, man. I would rather wait. I think there's good value on wide receivers a little bit later in the draft. Maybe like reevaluate in the third, but I would go Kristen Miller here.
Christian Miller? Okay, here we go. All right. Mint Beats has spoken. If y'all hear the beat in the background, man, my guy produced it, man. So definitely check out Mint Beats IG, man.
Hey, man.
All right. So,
would you have taken KC there, or would you have taken?
I'm taking KC. I'm taking KC.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at it. It's just like I'm trying to be responsible. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just thinking about like next year we could probably get like a top.
I'm not even looking at like. I don't think any receiver that the Raiders are going to be in position to get are going to be number one receivers. I'm looking at like, let's get someone that can fit in our current group. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah.
And we know that Clint Kubiak, he's an offensive coach. Like, give him what he needs. What does he need in order for his system and for him to cook on offense? So, I could see them kind of, if a certain guy that they like is there, I think they would make that pick. But we'll see. Christian Miller is a guy that's projected to go early in the second round. He's been there, and some mocks have him going in first. We'll see. So we're in the third. Skylar Bell was here too. Skylar Bell could be an option here. All right. Yeah.
I ain't mad at it.
Let's look at like some other positions real quick. This is a safety. Looks like I just got to check on this every now and then. Let's see, interior offensive line, Rutledge. Okay, he's there. Let's go to see. That's what that looks like. All right. So we went Christian Miller in the second.
You want to see edges, maybe?
I know you were looking at corner.
Yeah.
Okay. I would be interested to see if they get a nickel corner in this draft.
We definitely.
Because Taron Johnson, as much as like he has the name, last couple years he's been getting hurt. It seems like he's kind of going in a downward trajectory as far as him as a player. He's getting hurt, probably not as good as he once was.
Yeah.
So maybe they get like his replacement. Just in case,
yeah,
1 year flyer. Let him go after next season. Have the next guy here.
Got to kind of teach nickel back to whoever we're drafting there. I would prefer to draft a safety for that position, like a free safety that's able to play in the box rather than just like a pure nickel cornerback, just so you have that flexibility within your formations as well. Because I mean, I think there's a lot of value in having someone that can play in the box and kind of roaming around. We're missing that, right, without Trayvon Moorick. I feel like people kind of took that for granted with him. I like Genesis Smith. I know he has tackling issues.
Mari Rams, he has some experience playing nickel. I think he played nickel his last year at USC. The year before, he played free safety, so he has that versatility. Severe was saying earlier in the chat, he was saying, let's see my bad. Y'all talk about Rams. We didn't get a chance to talk about it with Marcus, but I think early on in the conversation, I think we touched on safety as being a position that they're going to prioritize in the draft, just because of like that's a position they didn't really address in the offseason. And we talked about how like there's some guys that literally on their last year on their contract, Palomao and my other guy that's I say Jeremy
Chin.
Yeah. So
so where are we picking next? So we have 67. What's our next? Do we have any more top 100 picks, or is this our last one? 102.
So we got 4 trades offers right now.
Okay.
We could look at that real quick. So okay. 3 pick. Right now the Raiders pick at 67. So 2 picks down at 69. Houston is calling and saying that we'll give you. Nah, it'd just be more 4th round picks. So it's like So to me, in my opinion, like the best trade down spot if you're trying to get another top 100 pick would be in the 2nd round.
Yeah. I don't know, and I'm not really that like keen on trading like from that sweet spot we were kind of already in. If we could have traded 3 to 4 spots back, I would have been comfortable with that. At the max, maybe like 8, just because I don't want to miss out on getting my nose tackle. You know what I mean? I don't want to miss out on Lee Hunter, getting taken like right before that. Can we go back to the best players available real quick?
Yeah. So I'll do it. Let's go. This is BPA, Skylar Bell. Hey, might be a guy that might fit in with what Kubiak's looking for at wide receiver. You can move him around, chess piece at wide receiver.
I like Denai Dennis Sutton too. I know he didn't have. He's kind of like hot and cold when you ask people about him. Hell no. Oh shit, man.
This is a guy that I wish we would have brought this up earlier. Zachariah Branch. Mm-hmm. Could be a possibility. Got some explosiveness to his game. I think he played a little bit on the outside, but he's some people project him to be playing the inside as a slot. But Tucker's on his last year on his deal, so he kind of would fill in for that. Like, and I think Branch might give you. I think he might give you some special team value too, as well.
I think he's shiftier too. I think he might be. He's probably much shiftier than Trey Tucker.
Fast,
yeah.
Because Trey Tucker's more straight line speed.
Yeah, but he's also a great blocker. Like as a dude that's like 5'9", he's a great blocker. So I mean, but again, we're talking about wide receiver, we're not talking about tight end. So it's like, okay, how much am I gonna value that for my third wide receiver in the rotation?
But Kubiak might value that for a wide receiver who's going to be, playing some snaps in offense.
Yeah.
So he,
man,
because the Raiders are going to want to run the football, so they whoever's out there is going to have to block. Me personally, I think Skylar Barrow would be a solid pick right here. Branch is another guy that I would like. I like Branch a little bit better because he's a lot more explosive. And he probably use some special teams value as well. I know he had that situation the other day where they were talking about him getting like a citation, or he got arrested and it was like the bail was $39, and I think it's just
that's nothing.
It's not gonna really change anything unless like more information comes out and like the team's like I don't know, he did something crazy. But for me, I like Branch here. I do like Branch here.
Okay, I mean we could take Branch.
All right.
I think I may go safety here. If I'm being honest, just because I'll be worried that they may get ran through before we go to 102. But I'm down with taking wide receiver here because I feel like we gotta get someone.
Right. So I think we got 3 4th round picks. I think we might be able to get a safety there.
For sure.
I'll draft Branch here, and we're gonna pick early in round 4, pick 102. So just outside of pick 100 or 102. So we're gonna there might be some guys on the board. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I wouldn't mind.
Hopefully I didn't jinx it. I don't want to jinx it a little bit, but.
No, I saw some, like I saw Bud Clark was still there. We should be good.
I know someone's like Elijah Sherrod. That could be. It's just like they got Jack Bish last year in the 2nd, and he's like a big stat. And Sherrod is like kind of the same. it's almost like if you draft Surratt, then Besh would be like, would he get traded?
I don't even know if you'd be able to trade him. You might have to cut him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We'd have to see. He's a second round pick, so I'm sure there'd be some type of interest. But like the film last year didn't really draw a lot of interest. But I'm just thinking like, you have Elijah Surratt at home. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when you're the parent, you're in the car, and like kids are like, yo, I want to get the McDonald's. I want to get the McDonald's. You know, I need my Happy Meal. I need my Happy Meal. It's like, bro, we have that at the crib. You know, it may be Dino Nuggets, but like, it's kind of the same. Put that shit in the air fryer, big dog. You know what I mean? And it may taste similar, but like, I don't know. I'm just not trying to waste a third round pick on something that.
I get Surratt because like it's a player that Mendoza is like has chemistry with. And
but I would, yeah. What I would say to that though is this man had chemistry with like 3 different players after one spring season, like spring training. You know what I mean? Like, and we saw it kind of grow before our eyes in the playoffs as well. I'm not really too pressed about getting someone that he played with for a year. You know what I mean? I would rather get him someone that's more talented with more upside to play in the NFL with. You know, I don't see that being important.
Okay. Well, we're in the Raiders' first pick out of 3 picks in the 4th round. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to safety right here. That's why I'm gonna look at safety. Hey, I think it's the easy one right here for me.
Yeah, I think I'm going Bud Clark here.
Yeah, I'm going Bud Clark right here. This easy one. Easy one out of TCU. Boom. Hey man, I like this draft so far, man. We
It's coming together, man.
Getting some explosiveness adding some explosiveness to this. Is a branch could be Rashid Shaheed in his Clint Kubiak offense. You know what I'm saying? So Bud Clark, safety, got range, playmaker. You know what I mean? He got now like, all right. So now this is the second of the 4th round picks out of three 4th round picks. So let's see where we are. Let's see where we're at. All right. So let's look at, let's go BPA. So you're available. Okay. Jailbird is there. Severe if he's still watching. Let's look at running back. Let's look at running back real quick.
Yeah, good call.
I want to look and see who might be available. Emmett Johnson, I know.
I would jump at Emmett Johnson here, dude. Yeah, 100%.
My guy Marcus and I got and Mint also are high on Emmett Johnson. Singleton, you know, is intriguing, but that vision is that a running back with vision issues is kind of scary to draft. I mean,
in his own system too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Let's keep looking though. We can keep looking. We don't gotta select him just yet.
Well, look. Another position I'm looking at is tight end. And
okay.
I'm looking at it. Oh damn! I see someone I like. He's gonna be available in this mock draft because their big board is all the way screwed up. So I'm gonna wait. So look. So we got safety.
Let's look at safety again though, real quick. I want to see. I'm willing to double up on safety with this draft.
Because we got a guy that can play the deep part of field. He can come down and probably make a tackle. He's probably not the biggest dude in Bud Clark, but he's a playmaker. Got range. Yeah. Now we talked about earlier that Jeremy Chin and Palomao are on their last year. So maybe we grab BJ Payne, or I don't know if you like him. I don't know, maybe is this a little too early?
Yeah, I'm looking at these names. I think we could wait a little bit. I just wanted to see though. Maybe we can look at even nickelback corners as well, or like just the corners in general to see who's there. But seems like the arrow. Yeah.
All right, for sure. We got corner to Tacario Davis.
Jalen Kilgore. That's not a bad option there. I mean,
hey, so I think Jalen Kilgore is going to be playing safety. Actually, you know,
really?
Yeah, I think he might be playing safety. They list him at corner. I think this is the same issue with Traydon Stoops, because I think he played nickel corner last year.
I don't mind like doubling up there though, especially if these dudes can like be hybrids. Because what I'm looking at is like I want especially with like safeties. I view safeties and nickels as like they should be able to do the same things. You know what I mean? Maybe to different levels, but like in the modern NFL, you kind of want they're DBs. You know, there's not like really corner, like there's outside corners for sure. I feel like that those are like different positions, but like anything in between when you're looking at like the nickel position, because if you think about it, if you're playing base, one of your safeties is going to be playing man in the slot if there's a slot receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable with taking Jalen Kilgore, but maybe we can wait till 134. I'm cool with either that or let's go running back here.
I'll let me see. Let me look at running back. But I think running back. I think we would maybe Jalen, maybe Emmett Johnson would be gone, but I think there might be somebody else that we could also take technically. Katron Allen could be available.
Okay.
Claiborne.
Okay.
I think Claiborne is going to be a project, to be honest with you. He's going to be one of those guys that like he'll give you some special teams value, but I think he's going to need some like time for, you know, coaching staff to like coach him up, you know, develop his hands, you know, his basically so he could be a third down guy. He's explosive though. But I just don't think he'd be ready to contribute. Yeah. Year one.
I think that they're looking for someone that's kind of plug and play, and you kind of expect it for a running back. I mean, if you're drafting a running back in like the top 4 rounds, I would want someone that's able to come in and contribute at a decent level rookie year. You know what I mean? So I would lean towards Katron Allen or Emmett Johnson. I would take Emmett Johnson here, I think. Can we look at defensive ends as well, just real quick, to see if there's anyone lingering around? I know it gets kind of thin.
Yeah. DH is saying Tacario Davis is a guy that he likes. He thinks he's one of the best corners in the draft. Okay. And I do like Jalen Kilgore though. Like safety, that would be like basically the starting safeties for the next.
Yeah. But maybe we can wait, because I think Kilgore. I mean, overall, maybe we could wait till 134. One of these well, okay. It looks like Emmett Johnson might be there too. Damn.
Yeah.
Maybe. So let's try. Maybe what I would do here is I would get rid of my 5th and I would pair it with my 4th to trade up higher into the 4th and get maybe like 125 or 126 and go after one of these other players that we're looking at. Because I don't need a 5th. A 5th round pick, will he even make the team? You know what I mean? You would hope so, but like I would rather get someone that I know is going to contribute instead of someone that's like, he may play on special teams.
Well, look, my thing is that Branch is a guy that like I could see fit in with what Clint Kubiak would do on offense. I get what you're saying. Trey Tucker would basically be like that small explosive receiver that we already have on. But Trey Tucker's on his last year of his deal. So what teams do when they draft, they're not drafting for players to contribute right away, right now, but they're also drafting for guys that they're going to eventually replace too. So that's why we're looking at that's why I'm looking at a Jalen Kilgore. I'm like, hey, Kilgore, I know he plays closer line of scrimmage. I know that would be like a spot that Jeremy Chin and Palomalo would be holding down for at least this season. But after this season, it's kind of like up in the air. Like we're back to square one. Like who's going to be the starter? Who's going to be the next guy?
Do we really want Palomalo starting? You know what I mean? Like I would prefer for him to just be on special teams and like, you know, mop up duty when someone's hurt. I don't really want him on the field if we already have someone that's, because Jeremy Chin's essentially like the maxed out version of him. If you think about the style of play, like you want him to be playing near the line of scrimmage. Why would I wouldn't want him to be my free safety. I know he had moments, but man, I've just seen so much tape of him just kind of being lost or just not a step too slow. So I do like Kilgore here as well.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm down to go Kilgore here and then maybe like hedge on Katron Allen.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go and we're gonna get Kilgore, and then you set the trade up again. Even though we have picked the 134, but we don't want to lose out on a player.
Exactly.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So let's go. Let's go. Okay, yeah, they have him listed at corner. Okay, let's go corner. Boom. So we'll draft. Jan, let me put the full draft so we can pay attention to what's going on. All right. So I'm gonna go draft Jalen Kilgore. Yeah, I know he's listed at corner, but I think they're projecting to play safety. And just let me know when I should stop.
Oh, pause it. Sorry, I was muted. Damn it.
Yeah, all good. But pick 125 is exactly where you. So you got the Patriots right here ready to pick. So you want to package 175.
Yep.
And what, 134?
Yeah.
For pick 125.
Can we see who's on the board? Because I wasn't able to see who got taken.
Ah, damn. Okay. Well, that's the one thing I wish they would improve. They would let you know exactly who's on the board, but I can show you who got drafted.
All right, let's
These
check
are the guys that got drafted. Landon Robinson, Casey, Takario Davis.
Oh,
so the running backs are there. The running backs are there. It'd have been crazy if Takario Davis would have been, but
there too.
Yeah. So everybody's pretty much on there except for Takario Davis that was up there. That I know DH was trying to have us draft.
Let's do this because I'm worried about maybe the Bills doubling up on running back. I know that it's not a need that's listed there, but I'm worried about them. Even the Patriots too. Maybe they're looking past Ramondre Stevenson too. So yeah, let's go ahead and offer I think it's our fifth and our last fourth.
You know what? I wouldn't even do that. I'll do this. Like I'll say pick 134 and give them Buffalo's pick at 208 that we got in a trade for Taron Johnson. So 34, boom. Look at that.
Hey, let's do it.
You know what? I'll just pick. Let's see how low.
Hey, even better. Yeah, let's fleece these guys, dude.
Let's fleece them. Yeah, all right. Let's give us that 7th round pick and 134. All right. We good? Let's go ahead and offer this trade. Let's see. They get. Boop. We on the clock. All right. So we trade.
All right.
This is where you want to take. Let me see who's available. All right. First, we'll check that real quick. This is where you're looking at running back, right?
Yes, sir.
Here you go. That's your guy, right? Emmett Johnson.
I'm taking Emmett Johnson. Yeah.
And Allen's on the board. I know Marcus is high on Jamari Taylor. Fits the system. All right. I guess go ahead and is Emmett Johnson the pick right here?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Boom.
This is a smooth draft, bro. I'm telling you, this is working out.
Yep. Yes, sir. What I would wait on running back.
You wait till the 5th, or
no? DH right here saying that he would wait at running back.
Okay.
2 safeties in one class. We end up with Trayvon Moorick and Tyree Gillespie. Moorick wasn't bad, but Gillespie was crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. He was just not even on the field really that much.
Yeah, I think Gillespie. I think he went in the 4th, right? I know Moorick was.
Yeah, I think
Moorick was in the 2nd.
He was supposed to be a 1st, yeah, but he went in the 2nd. And I know that I think we ended up trading Gillespie after I think we had a regime change. Sounds familiar, but.
Okay, so that DH. I feel you got your guys at tight end. I feel you, but at least we're on the same page right now. We're thinking tight end. Let's look at the tight end position right here.
All right.
We'll look at every other position too. Like this is best available. Okay. So there could have been some like Jamari Taylor would have been available. So boom, he could have been there. But we already drafted running backs. Let's go look at tight end. Severe, you was talking about this guy the other day. Josh Cuevas. We were talking about the other day. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he's gonna be here, but if he is, to me, this is an easy pick for me.
He didn't play at Texas, right? He didn't. Did he transfer from Texas?
Oscar Delp?
Yeah.
Nah, I think he's been with Georgia. He just played behind basically Bowers.
And Lucky. That's right. Never mind. It's coming back to me. Yeah.
I know. This is where I'm like looking at PFS big board. I'm like, what is going on here? But he's an inline tight end. He can block, and he has potential to be a receiving factor too. So if you're thinking about the Raiders running the football in 12 personnel and being a threat in that, formation, this is a guy like I can see being a beast. I think I might have sent you. I don't know if you. I think I might have sent you a video of him or a clip of him
in the chat.
In the chat where I was like, man, this dude kind of like. I want to say he reminds me of Brock Bowers, but it was just a play where I'm like, damn, the acceleration where he accelerated and just took it all the way to the house. I was like, oh, okay. We might have some. But the reality is, I'm looking at his receiving as a plus, but it's more so like, can he block?
Yeah, 100%.
Like we already have Brock Bowers. I'm looking at like, can he block? And if he can give you something in the receiving end, cool. That's a big plus. It's a nice plus.
Yeah, I mean, and you kind of got Brock Bowers insurance. I don't think we got that technically right now. I know people will say that's Michael Mayer's, but like we need Michael Mayer insurance as well, for like, what if he's unavailable? So it's like, I'm not stigmatized by taking a tight end here at all. I think it makes sense that he shouldn't be there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn this card because this is no brainer. But I think Delp goes a little bit earlier. I think he probably go like maybe the third or fourth at the latest. He just doesn't have the production, but like you could see like he has the talent to possibly be a better pro. Cuevas actually just went right here. Severe, tight end.
Oh wow,
you went right there. 84. Okay, pick 185. All right, look. So let's a little recap real quick. Mendoza, Christian Miller, Branch, Bud Clark, Kilgore. So for the people who are kind of criticizing this Branch pick a little bit, like my approach to adding a receiver to this current group is not necessarily like going after like, hey, we need to get a true X, right? Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be cool and all, but we need a lot. We need talent in that wide receiver room. Like the Raiders already drafted like, okay, Besh last year, Dante Thornton. So they're trying to see what they have in those receivers, but we still need some explosiveness. We still need some playmakers. I feel like Branch will give you that, plus he'll give you some special teams value. And then like Tucker's on his last year deal, so he's gonna probably take over that spot. Possibly, you could like look at that and be like, hey, you know what? Hey, he could be the Tucker replacement because he's going to be a free agent next year. They already gave a contract to Jalen Naylor. So are they going to give another contract to Trey Tucker next year?
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless he balls out, maybe. It's kind of hard for me to project.
You may be priced out, though. You may be you may not want to pay Trey Tucker, for one contract year where he finally gets 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, right? To be honest, personally, I don't know if I would take Branch there. I see what you're saying, and I do see the appeal. It makes sense for sure. It's just the Jalen Naylor signing is kind of like him plus because he's a little bit taller. You know what I mean? The speed. We kind of already seen it. He's pretty like he didn't run the 40 fat.
He's not
like 4.3. He's probably like 4.5. But he could win deep still. You know what I mean? Like in the way that Devontae was not fast, but he could win still deep with his moves. But I mean, but we also, I don't know. I'm not hating on the pick though. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know if I would like that be the wide receiver I would choose at 3 in the third round, but I see the logic makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it like Clint Kubiak's going to know what to do with a Branch. He's going to know what to do with him because he's had these types of receivers, these smallish receivers that can get open based off their quickness, explosiveness, their shiftiness. The Rashid Shaheeds, what was the receiver from the Saints? that like currently is their like number one or number
Chris Olave.
Chris Olave. I'm not comparing them to, but smallest receiver, and then obviously JSN, another guy, not the biggest guy, but was able to dominate, so last year. But we'll see. I'm just looking at like we need talent in that wide receiver room. I'm not like looking at it like, hey, we need to get an X. Like we had like Marcus was just on, and we were talking about it like, hey, at the end of the day, Clint Kubiak wants to move around that wide receiver. He wants to have a movable chess piece. So what receivers kind of fit that in the draft? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, because we don't have that. He even said, like, we don't have that. So like a Branch, maybe you can move it around. Like a Casey Concepcion, like you may be able to move him around. Omar Cooper, move him around. Even Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama, you can move him around. So I get it. This might be controversial, but Bud Clark, come on, man. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Kilgore, I like it. 2 starting safeties right here. Jalen probably come in and play special teams and like maybe get on the field at certain times or whatever. But I think he's going to be
exactly.
You could project him to probably be the starter by year 2. Emmett Johnson is your guy. We got him. Oscar Delp. Boom. Look, Michael Mayer replacement right there. And now we're at round 6. And what would you be looking at? I mean, obviously at this point we're looking at depth. We can look at it a lot of different positions right now.
Maybe linebacker. Maybe we can look at LB.
Okay.
Quinn Heineke. He's kind of a sleeper.
Perkins is kind of interesting here. Explosive, kind of misused in LSU, but he's athletic, explosive. Have him just rush the passer.
Okay.
Like outside linebacker, just get after the quarterback. I like him. I've drafted him in some mocks. I don't know if he's going to be available this late, but we'll see. It was like Caden Curry. If you guys remember Caden Curry, he was the guy that like gave that Mendoza that chin check Ohio State game. That first, I think it might have been the first snap of that game, Ohio State and Indiana game, where he gets hit right away, and it was Caden Curry. Was a guy who's available.
I do like the thinking behind the LSU linebacker, because I think something that people aren't really considering, Quan Walker, right? We're talking about Quan Walker, and they were saying that he was misused in Green Bay, right? There was a lot of off-ball stuff. I think that people are underestimating how much he's going to be playing on the edge. I think he's going to be someone that they're going to line up outside of the defensive end in a lot of positions and allow for him to use his athletic ability. So maybe getting a linebacker that's kind of depth for him in that role would make sense. Go ahead.
No, as people talking trash. He said, I'm glad the draft's tonight. You just hate it, right? You just hate the draft. All right, man. It's all good, man. It's all good. But go ahead, man. Yeah, not to cut you off.
No. I thought you were gonna say something. But I think the biggest flaw with this draft is just there's not offensive interior investment. We didn't really invest in guard or tackle. But personally, I kind of want to see what's going on in that room. Anyways, it's unfortunate that we didn't really get to see our young talent last year because of the coaching was just terrible. That might be the curse, though, right? It's like, we talk about our offensive line being okay to start the year every year, it seems like, until it's not. But at this point, I think it's a little too late. I would look into getting the edge rusher. I do like Caden Curry. Caden Curry here.
So we can go Caden Curry and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right, let me go ahead and shout out to my guy, DH, man. We finally got your pick in, man, because I know you didn't want to take a Branch earlier. You wanted Surratt, and then I know you wanted to go to Cario Davis earlier. So we're gonna go Caden Curry. We got you.
He was pounding the table for Caden Curry. Let's go.
Omega wants Drew Shelton. Man, we'll see if he's available. We'll see if he's available next week. All right. Let me go ahead and where would you go, Tom? But damn, we already got like. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like when you, I know you can't. I know like almost every draft, like teams are always going to be drafting like offensive linemen for the most part because that's a position that you can't have enough of.
Mm-hmm.
But Raiders did get Charles Grant last year in the third, and he needed some time to develop. If you're drafting a tackle in the sixth, most likely he's going to need some time to develop too. So,
yeah,
I don't know if you want to add. I mean, is there anybody that you like early? I know we went through the first, second, third, and fourth rounds, but
I do like Dunker from Iowa. I think that he would be a perfect fit, right? We already got the Iowa running back coach in the building, so I think he would be a solid just plug and play guy. And you also I think people discount this, but you also get some position flexibility out of Caleb Rogers. He was the type of guy that he was playing tackle in college, right? And maybe he doesn't have the play strength, but I think he could be kind of like a Jermaine Illuminor type depth piece, if at least outside. I think he has potential to be a starting guard, but I think he could play all 5 positions on the line. You know, you kind of draft him for that flexibility. So early on, maybe getting a guard. I don't know if I would invest in tackle unless, you know, someone just kind of fell into your lap. But here, I mean, I'm really open to anything. Got to see who's available.
You know what too, and that's I wish we had time to talk about that, like offensive line, like because I feel I wanted to bring this up earlier when Marcus was here, but I obviously we could talk about it too. Don't you feel like the Raiders are like this entire offseason they kind of been talking about the offensive line like they need to get coached up better than add more talent necessarily? I think they're going to add probably a guy in the draft, but I think that's I think that's the one flaw maybe in our draft is not investing in guard. I feel like Spytek is the type of dude to draft offensive lineman probably between rounds 3 to like 5 every year, 3 to 6 every year, especially if he has multiple in that multiple picks in those rounds. I think it's obvious, man. If he's out here having to watch film with his rookies, you know, like what was reported, it has to be a coaching malpractice going on for these young guys in the building. It's frustrating as a fan because it's like you're left with a positive last impression with these guys playing against, you know, the Chiefs practice squad, but how much can they take that next year or two? How much of a leap are they going to be able to really embark on? But yeah, man, I'm pretty high on Charles Grant. I think that he it's funny. I think Glaze could be the swing tackle, and I think Charles Grant should just pick a side for him to play and let him play. Because I think he's too talented to not play next year at tackle. Hey, Omega, I know you've seen him too, but go ahead. Go ahead, Mint.
No, that was pretty much it. I think that I would prefer to see Charles Grant play and then kind of have Glaze be a roamer. Like, okay, we need a guard. You could fill guard. Okay, oh, we need a tackle. Okay, you could play tackle instead of the opposite, and kind of let him just settle in at one side, and then maybe next year, you know, you can draft your future left tackle if Colton Miller's showing signs of aging, you know, like he's kind of already is.
Yeah, and you know the thing about tackles too. A lot of the good ones, and I was telling this to Severe the other day. I was talking to him about it, and he was saying we were talking about how like a lot of like the good tackles around the NFL, like they're usually drafted in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
But you can find you can find good guards like in the mid rounds. Like you don't necessarily have to take one like early in the first round. I mean, obviously if it's a really good prospect, and that's what you need, and it's a good spot to take them. Then you can take them, but I feel like tackles you got to take the good ones. You more likely you want to take early. Like think about it. Like Colt Miller,
top 15, dude. Yeah,
Colt Miller's been a starter at left tackle for so long, and he was a first round pick. But help, hey, my guy Omega seen it too. Perkins, I like it, man. I like him here, man.
Let's do it.
I think he might go a little bit earlier than this, but we'll see. I mean, this is like PFS big boys, so. But if he's up there, man, I'm gonna go ahead and draft him. All right, and I think that might be it. But let's look at the picks real quick. Yeah. I ain't mad at this draft, man. I ain't gonna lie.
It's all a draft.
I
feel like we cooked a little bit.
The one thing that, like you said, someone right off the top, TN, I get it. We could have went offensive line. Rick's talking about if Lomu was there. I think Lomu was available in the second. I think he was available there. Could possibly, but and I think Bacentis was there too as well. So we could have traded down to 49, but you wanted to stay at like 36 because you felt like, hey, you don't want to lose out in getting like a impact defensive lineman. But,
yeah, I feel like that would leave us with getting like a Dominic Orange in the third round, and then the fourth round we're out here looking for a wide receiver if that's what we want. Or we may miss out on wide receiver. So it just depends on what you value. I definitely could see that being enticing for sure, but I'm not mad at it. I think just offensive guard was the only thing really that we missed on.
I don't care what PFF has to say about this. This is insane. They need to
yeah, bro.
This one. I think Oscar Dub goes way earlier than this, and the fact that he was there available, I'm taking him all day, every day. But that's just me. Hey, man, I think it's a solid draft, bro. This is pretty good. It's pretty good, man. I know we're probably kind of short on time, but yeah, I just want to get into a last final mock draft before the draft. I do want to do one with drafting offensive line. Do you want to do one real quick and just draft like offensive lineman? Let's see what.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're doing real quick because that grabbing an offensive lineman is something that like we didn't even get a chance to talk about earlier. But let's go ahead and just boom. And
let me ask the chat. Do you all think that offensive guard or defensive or nose tackle are more pressing needs in the second, third round? Because I feel like that's where you would need to take one at that point.
Offensive guard, or because right now, who's a starting left guard?
I would say JPJ, and then the other side it's Rogers, right?
Oh, you're moving JPJ from right guard to left guard again,
or whatever, like wherever he like wherever they decide for him to play, just let him have a home, right? If he's playing right guard, then I think we're moving Rogers over to left. I don't think that.
Like he should win that, but because I know they signed a guard in free agency, but it's not nothing. It's just more of like a camp body or some competitions or some like depth. Or Meredith could be competition for Rogers.
Yeah, but I think that's fine. I mean, let them battle it out for sure. If Meredith wins that and he's productive, cool. But like, I think Caleb Rogers is a starting guard in the NFL.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and knock this out real quick. And we'll make sure to see if we can grab an offensive lineman at some point. Boom. Start the draft. Draft Mendoza. Yeah, that's the thing is like, yeah, I can see us taking a guard, and I can see us taking a tackle, because then Grant, he's. I know a lot of people are like, hey, we can have Grant start at right tackle, but he hasn't really played. I don't think he's had any snaps at right tackle.
They said that he was practicing for swing tackle last year during the season. We just didn't really see it. But I could see that being an obstacle for sure. It's like, some people can't play on the opposite side. And no tackle's a very technical position to play. And you're a tall dude learning the NFL. And you're learning a different technique now, too, because you're playing for someone else. So I can see them wanting to keep him on the left side. But I think it's just a waste at that point because you're going to ride Colton Miller until – this guy's up for a contract and not know what you have. I feel like that's you got to see him at some point.
Yeah. All right. So we're in the second. Pregnon Lomu are on the board. I could also let's take a look and let's go offensive tackle into the guy Dunker's there. Now I could trade down. If you feel like a lot of the guys that's on the board, like if you stack them up and they're like kind of like similar guys, like you're high on, you feel the same about them, then maybe you could trade down and be like, hey, whoever's available, I can grab and I can still get another top 100 pick.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll trade down and try to bet on a dunker just because I think he's gonna be playing guard in the NFL. Maybe he gives you some position flexibility. Someone gives you a nice haul for the picks for Lomu if they're really desperate. But I'm also comfortable with taking Lomu there and just being like, hey, we have our right tackle. Boom, we're done.
Oh, sorry. So what I like about the Vikings, they got 2 third-round picks. So let's see if we could fleece them real quick. I just want to see if we can get it with murder. Let's see. I would actually give them. Let me start with this one. 20.
Yeah, our last fourth. Yeah.
Because we're dropping 14 spots. Or no, we're dropping 13 spots. 13,
yep.
13, 14 spots. So 28%. If I give them like 33. Because I don't care about these later round picks. 208. Let's just see what they say with that. All right, a second. Let's trade. Oh, they accepted it.
That's crazy.
Whoo, your boy is Dylan. Man, hey,
that's
man,
insane.
If Spytech does this would be crazy. So let's go ahead and go to the draft and see who's available. So right now we're looking to see if we can grab offensive lineman in a trade down, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's do that. Oh, damn. Almost.
Oof.
Oh, actually,
see, that's.
Hold on. Let me actually change the big board here. Let's go interior offensive lineman. Oh, damn.
See, it's tough, man. Like trading back 13 spots like we did there. It's Dunker's there. Okay. Okay, I'll move. I think I'm doing that here.
So you like him at guard or tackle?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a guard in the NFL.
Okay. All right. So you taking Dunker here, and let's see. Most likely, he probably not gonna make it to the third. Let's see who the best available here because we gotta make sure. Like, okay, I ain't mad at that. Let's do it. This is your guy, so we're gonna go ahead and get Dunker, and then now we gotta look at next pick here.
See, now it's like, are we gonna grab our defensive interior lineman here? Are we gonna be able to find one here?
All right, so let's look at top available right now. Orange is there. Nose tackle.
Okay.
Damn, Rutledge would have been here too. I don't even mad at that. That's man, we should have
take Rutledge at 97.
Well, I'm just saying like he would have been available here, but let's look at receiver. Ooh, Ted Hirsch. Ooh, right there. Okay. And let's look at defensive line.
Safety or defensive line? Yeah, let's look at defensive line.
Okay.
I think we got to take our shot here. I think we got to take our shot with Dominic Orange.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. Boom. Boom. All right, we got it. Now, pick 80. We got 82 and 897. Let me look at the draft. Let's see how it's going.
That was an insane trade, bro. We're getting like 6 top 100 picks after that.
Yeah. But you want to make sure you don't want to like trade down just to trade down. Like you don't want to miss out on like actually some good talent. Like,
yeah.
Let me just make sure how the draft fell. All right. So when we were at pick 36, Vikings traded up to get Pregnon. And then what happened? Oh, okay, Caleb Lone went 46. He went pick like damn. They see the Falcons knew what we were gonna do.
See,
Zantis right there got taken, but we got Dunker. It's all good. All right. So now we're in the third. This is our second third round pick out of three third round picks.
Yeah, man.
So Dominic Orange, we got him, and now it is on us at pick 82. Let's look at wide receiver here.
Yeah, wide receiver safeties here.
Hey, Ted Hurst is right here.
I like that.
Ted Hurst is right here for all the people that like. It seemed like Ted Hurst got a huge. He got his own fan base right now. This draft process.
Ted Hurst, the Undertaker, bro. You know, like he's gonna have the sickest nicknames, dog. Last name Ted Hurst, that's sick, bro.
For sure. We went. Let's see. Look at best available. You know what? I'm good with taking Ted Hurst here.
Can we look at safety real quick though?
Safety, yeah.
We
can wait.
What about corner real quick?
Oh, corner? Yeah. Corner could be a sneaky one. This dude, he's a dog at nickel. The guy already put me on to him.
Okay. I'm cool with Ted Hurst here. I think we could wait for safety and corner. It seems like we got some options on the board still.
All right, let's go ahead. Ted Hurst. Boom. I was looking at Sam Rush. Sam Rush seemed like he about to go early. Pick 97.
Okay.
All right, so pick 97. Let's look at all the best available here. Linebacker. Look at corner. Okay. Let's look at safety. Double check.
So we're picking at 102 here. So we can double up on. We can look at running back maybe. Maybe there's maybe we can do that.
I would wait on running back, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I would wait. Looking at right in. I already know Oscar Delp's gonna be there. Like, don't even care.
They're hating on Oscar Delp,
Yeah,
bro. They don't like your boy.
Yeah, for whatever reason. All right, but I would look at safety here. Safety and corner. Or let me see. I know we just took a receiver. I just wanted to check who's going to be available here. All right, so I would look at safety, and I don't want to play around. I don't want to lose out on Bud Clark. So,
man, We could probably I'm thinking we could probably
because I'm looking
we
at
could probably
Eagles. Look what that say right there.
You're right.
I just don't want to risk it. I don't know.
I don't think they would go.
I don't know who.
I don't think they would go Genesis Smith either. Like, I don't think they would go there. I think they would go Bud Clark if these two were on the table, you know?
Yeah. I don't want to risk it. And it's close enough where we could grab whoever we wanted. Like, unless there's somebody else that you're looking at, like right here, that you don't want to lose out on. I
was thinking maybe I didn't see the Eagles had a safety need there. I was thinking maybe we could trade back right here a couple of spots. But I'm also down to just stick and pick.
101. Well, at top of the fourth, first pick in the fourth, 101. You want to trade that? I don't want to risk it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go Bud Clark then. All right.
I don't want to risk it. We got our guy. All right. Boom. Bud Clark. The tackle. Oh, running back goes off the board. 102. Let's say corner. Malik Muhammad is a guy that like some people I've seen people mock at this spot, like in the fourth. That could be a possibility. I don't know if there's anybody that you like here. You already know. We doubled up at safety because I said Jalen Kilgore is going to be playing safety on the next level, more of like a box safety.
Yeah.
Type.
Maybe. Yeah.
But he's athletic though. I think he's like, let me just. I think his athletic profile. I think he killed the combine too.
I can pull that up right here. Let's see.
His combine actually pretty good.
Where's bro at? Why is he? On the side I'm looking at, I think he's listed as a safety. So I'm looking at the.
Yeah, for whatever reason, PFF has him at like.
Yeah.
So you said they have him at safety?
Well, I'm looking for him. There he is. Yeah. There he is. Sorry, he was high.
Other places have him at safety. So he's so I like his age. He's 21 years old, young dude. Let's see. He's 6'1", 210. Let me see. He ran
the athletic score was a 78.82.
It's not bad. He ran a 4.4, 37-inch vert. He's 6'1", 210.
It's more than enough for a safety. Yeah, I think that's fine.
33-inch arms. I think on his pro day, he came in like 8 pounds heavier. So take that for whatever that's worth. But he's definitely got that athleticism to play the position. More than enough athleticism. But we could go corner here.
Yeah. When's our next pick? I know we're at 102 here.
117.
All right, so I think
34 in the fourth.
I think let's take running back next, and let's grab Jalen Kilgore here if that's our guy. I mean, unless you want to get Malik Muhammad, it's up to you.
All right, I'm gonna let the let the chat. Everybody's saying corner. Raiders met with Malik. Okay. Ian's like, all right, Malik. All right, we're gonna make Malik. We're gonna make him the pick right here. We're gonna do it. Boom.
Not mad at it.
Hey, if Kilgore is available at pick 17,
that'd be crazy. This is a brand new secondary.
Hey. Oh, hold on. This guy. Woo! I will go for. Fuck it, I'm doing it.
Well, let's look at running back. Let's look at running back.
Oh yeah, running back.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We got options at pick 130 because we pick at 134.
Yeah, let's take Kilgore then. Yeah.
Boom.
This is a little decadent. This is a little decadent right here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
Taking three DBs back to back to back is a little decadent, but
I know. But look, or we could look. Let's look. Just we can look at other position groups real quick. We went offensive lineman. He was a tackle, but he's been projected to play inside. See tight end. You already know. I could wait on.
yeah.
Let's see who's best available right now.
Yeah.
Best available.
Yeah.
Corion's like a nose tackle type. Let's see.
Yeah, I saw TDL breakdown. Corione. I can't say his name. Damn, I'm not Italian. I'm sorry, y'all. But
Corleone.
Corleone. There we go. Don Corleone for sure. I got it now. I saw that he may be slipping. He may be slipping just because like the medical issues he's having, which is unfortunate. But
hey, I'm just putting this out there real quick. Jacoby Lane is there. Oh, we did draft Ted Hurst, so it's kind of like I want a guy that's like smaller and shiftier in the wide receiver room, because I don't think we have that. I don't think we have a shifty guy in the room. Maybe Naylor.
Yeah, maybe Naylor. I think Jacoby Lane, it's like I would kind of choose between him and Ted Hurst, because you're kind of getting similar builds.
And we were Thornton, no matter how you guys feel about him, he's in the room too as well. So it's like, come on, it's like you already got like get both. I know. Imagine if we would have went like that's where like, hey, if we would have took, imagine if we took like that I took a Branch.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took Lane here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Because
you're getting two different players. You're not drafting the same player. You know, even if it was like KC Concepcion and then they circled back later on and they got Jacoby Lane, I wouldn't be mad at that either.
Rick likes Abuse Stevens.
Bo Stevens.
Bo Stevens. I don't know about Stevens would be a steal here.
You get two teammates. I think they played next to each other too, between him and Dunker.
Damn.
At that point, though, the guard room is kind of crazy. It's like we have like.
Oh no, he got taken earlier. Let me see, where is he projected to go? Let me go corner. 124. Oh, so he's probably gonna go. Because the next time we pick Kilgore, and then let me see, interior offensive lineman. Oh
man.
So we kind of went with a guard earlier in Dunker.
That's the only reason I'm hesitant, is because I think he is going to be a guard. If he was playing tackle, I'd be excited to get Stevens to go next to him as well. At that point though, like if we're factoring Duncan as a guard,
that's all I'm saying.
Huh?
Hey, Kilgore, and you're good at nickel. Good at nickel, but like, look, if Bud Clark and Kilgore, you could move around.
That's what I'm saying. I want that versatility. We don't have those guys on the roster right now. You know what I mean? And like, I think that we can circle back next year and get a solid guard in the second or the third. You know, if we really need it. And we already addressed kind of the interior with our previous picks too. So yeah. I would go Jalen Kilgore, because this is where the strength of the draft is. If we're keeping it a buck, the safeties nickel position is like the depth to this draft from what everyone's saying. So I would lean into that and go with Jalen here. But I do see the appeal for Bo Stevens, but I would go Kilgore for sure.
And he has some special teams value too, because he has some punt returner experience too. So just
gunner too, yeah.
So that's probably his way to get on the football field year one, because obviously there's going to be Palomalo that's in the room, which I'm sure he could obviously kind of get over him if he has a good camp. But Jeremy Chin, I think, will probably get the edge just because he's a veteran, been there, done that. They're probably going to ease him into the position until I think year 2 he's a starter.
We might have 3 safeties on the field, because like we've seen it before. I think that's not something that is unthinkable. So I do like Kilgore here.
All right, let's do it, Kilgore. All right. So we had to do a mock draft part 2. Add a little offensive line. Had to add to the offensive line room real quick.
We should have took a photo of the last one, a screenshot of the last one, so we know we could compare and contrast.
Cool. That's why I drafted him on the previous mock. So if we went branch, but a lot of people like Ted Hurst, I wouldn't have been mad at Ted Hurst too. Ted Hurst is like, people are high on him.
I think it's a legacy, right? The last name, like I don't blame him. Like I feel like people play different when you're playing for your family's. Like, go ahead.
Shout out to my guy Chris from Protect the Shield podcast. He actually interviewed Hugh Jackson. I don't know if you remember Hugh Jackson, former head coach for the Raiders.
Of course, yeah.
And he's actually one of the coaches out there in Georgia. I think it was Georgia State is where.
Georgia State.
Where Ted Hurst was playing at, and he was just like super high on him. Like, and Hugh Jackson's been around some receivers. He's been around the Chad Johnson, TJ Hujmazada, Chris Henry. Like just think about all the receivers he's been around while he was in the NFL, and he's like, Ted Hurst is legit. He's gonna be a guy like he puts him up there with all the guys that he's coached around. So that says a lot. This is a lot, man. But we're in the 5th round, 175.
This is running back territory for me. This is where I swear, man. We need to get a running back.
Oh, for sure. Sure. No, we are. I just think that Genty's gonna be the guy. We just need a guy that can come in and like play a role.
I do, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's what's so like stressful about the Genty pick. It's like, man, if he gets hurt and we draft someone in the 4th to 5th round and this guy's balling out and it looks like our offense hasn't missed a beat, it's like, damn, dude, we could have really. That's a conversation for another. That's a conversation for another day. But I see Desmond Claiborne's there.
No, I hear what you're saying. I think you know what I think. I think that Max Crosby trade kind of like backfiring on the Raiders. I think they were going to probably grab like a veteran running back at some point, because there were some guys that they could have got. Like I know, Spytek being from Tampa Bay, connection to Tampa Bay. There were some guys from their running back room. They were free agents.
Rashad White, right?
Rashad White. There was that running back from the Ravens who was a free agent, explosive guy. I'm like, ooh,
Algier was available.
I think Algier would have been a little bit more of an investment that they would have want to add in that room. They're already paying.
They paid him one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it'd been like,
yeah.
But yeah, let's look at running back real quick. Let's see what it's looking like right now. Claiborne, Jamari Taylor. So this is a TDL Marcus guy, right? This Marcus Johnson guy right here. Jamari Taylor, he was high on him. He's feel like he's a perfect fit in that zone system. So this could be the pick. I know Claiborne has been a guy that I like, but I've drafted him in a few of my mocks just because of the explosiveness factor, special teams factor. But I had to be realistic with him. It's just like, man, like year 1, he's not. I don't think he's going to play. Maybe special teams. Maybe that's how he gets on the field. But he can't. If he can't pass protect, if he can't catch the football at the backfield, run routes, anything like that, it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be tough for him to carve out a role early on. If he can't.
Yeah, man. I think I would go Jamari Taylor here just because you get a dude that's a senior, like he's coming out as a senior. He's played running back in college football for a while. He fits the system according to, Marcus, TDL, and I don't know, man. I feel like that's more of the like plug and play fit. Okay, Ashton Genty needs a breather. Let's throw Taylor in there. He's not gonna miss a beat. With Claiborne, it's like there may be a growing period. He may be third string. You know, we may need to get a veteran. You know, before just to fill that. If we're really trying to fill RB2, I think Taylor's a logical pick here.
I know, Rick. I like Claiborne because, like, when you watch him, it's like he's explosive. I know Marks was saying, like, I don't know if he projects to play outside zone, like, because he didn't play that in college. But the way he runs is, I could see it. Like I can see him kind of playing in that. Like, he's not one of those guys. I don't know. Taylor's a small dude. Yeah.
He's bigger than Claiborne. He weighs more than him. He's 199. Claiborne's 188.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, like, if you're going for like the contrast running back room, right, where you have the speed, you have Genty, that's kind of the power guy, and then you have the guy with speed that's coming up after that. I feel like that's more of a project with Claiborne. But at this point, I'm down with either. I think I just personally lean a little bit more Taylor here.
Okay, let's do it. Jamari Taylor. He's the guy. All right, so I think we traded our 7-round pick, so I think we only got like 1 or 2 picks left. Let me look at tight end here. This is what I'm gonna look at, tight end. 6th-round pick. Boom. I bet you. Look, guess who's? Oh, my guy Oscar is still available here. I'm taking him. I'm drafting him. And reality is, though, I think that he's gonna get taken. I think he's gonna. Damn, the Ohio State guy got drafted before the number 2 tight end. He's like a Lee Smith. He's a blocker, but he's not really a guy like a lot of receiving production. That's crazy. But for me, I'm turning this in. I mean, is there another position you want to look at before I draft the tight end position?
Yeah, probably linebacker here. Maybe kicker.
Nah, for sure. We definitely need to get a kicker because I do not trust the guy that they signed as a replacement. When I looked at, like, compared him to Carlson, like, he's worse from a statistical standpoint. Yeah. Trey Moore. Is there anybody? Jack Kelly, BYU, Eric Perkins, still available. That was the guy that we drafted last mock. Yeah, is there any? Let me see. Let's look at best available. Zane Durant is an interesting guy, like super athletic.
Really?
DT, yeah. Like more of like a 3 technique guy. Might be I don't know if he's a tweener, but I don't know. Maybe it's a guy that you can consider. Let me see. The next pick that we got is at 20. Let's see. 208. Let me see if I'll risk it. Let's see. I'm gonna put tight end and this line. Would you go Oscar Delp or Zane Durant?
I think because we drafted 2 defensive tackles last year, I would lean tight end or what was the other position we were just looking at? We're looking at tight end and linebacker. So I'll probably lean linebacker here personally. But if you want to grab Tyler Delp here, or not Tyler Delp, I forget his first name. Yeah. If you want to grab him, that's fine. But I would probably go linebacker before I went tight end.
Okay. From a depth standpoint?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, like, can you name anyone besides, the 2 folks that we picked up in free agency that's in that room right now? It's like we're probably going to get some free undrafted free agents for sure to backfill, but I would like to have my pick of someone real quick. And if Harold Perkins Jr. is that guy that is kind of projects like a Quay Walker, as far as like an athletic dude playing off the edge. I would like to get him in the building. Comes from a SEC school too, so there's like a little bit of camaraderie there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go Oscar Delp here, and then like see BPA after that.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, let's see. And then UDFA will be, they better be calling. Oh, Zane Durant went to the Patriots. Yeah. All right. Well, I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Harold Perkins, please don't get drafted here. VJ. All right.
We got you.
Lorenzo Styles Jr. corner was safety. He ran like he had a blazing 40-yard. He had I think he ran like a 4.28 or 4.27.
That's crazy. A safety? That's wild.
Yeah. I think he might have played. Did he play corner? Let me see. Did he play corner? Corner. He played safety. He might have played. Oh, he played nickel. He played nickel. Okay, so he played nickel and. Okay, I think he might have been. He might have played nickel and safety. Because they have 223 snaps in the slot, and then 47 in box, 121 in deep part of football. Okay.
I think we were kind of already got that, at the crib already with what we got earlier.
Yeah. I was just looking at but let's go and check linebacker real quick. Boom. Turning the card right there. Boom.
Yeah. I think that's the choice right there. Do you like Jack Kelly at all? I'm not too familiar with Jack Kelly.
Too familiar, but we can look at him. Let's see. Boom. Pass rush grade 77. I tend to, if I'm gonna be drafted, I tend to go for the more athletic guys. But let's see.
This guy kind of reminds, as far as what I'm reading right here, this guy kind of sounds like the same thing we drafted Linderbaum last year, like a two-time team captain, productive seasons, played all 4 years, knows the game, probably going to be a special teamer. I think I would go with the athlete on the other side, though. I would go with Harold Jr.
Yeah, give me the athlete. 6th round pick. See what happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then we'll get Jack Kelly as a UDFA.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can get a lot of these guys after it's over, but I think this is a smooth draft, man. I think we cooked again.
Let's see. Let's take a look. I'm trying to think. Our last one, we took. Yeah, you know what? What we happened here, we traded down. That's what kind of made this one kind of a little bit better. We traded down. We're able to get address offensive line, defensive line with Orange. Obviously, he's going to be like a projected nose tackle. Ted Hurst, wide receiver. Damn, this is kind of. I ain't gonna lie, this is not a bad draft.
That's like we literally revamped our secondary in one off season right here with all young guys. Like that's huge, especially coming like. I think we're gonna make that like our cornerback room really competitive. We have we already have the dude Porter coming in year 2, but you kind of have someone to challenge him in Malik Muhammad. I just think that with us getting Jennings in the 2nd round, we kind of covered all of our bases, so to speak. That trade back was crazy though, because we got. How many top 100? Well, 102 picks. We got 1, 2, 3. We got like 6 top 102 picks. Like,
yeah,
like that's insane, dude. That's crazy to have that many at bats that early.
Yeah, because look what we were able to do. We're able to address a lot of needs and get like basically pretty much starters. I mean, Orange will probably come in like early downs, but still, it's still a need. Nose tackle, boom. We got someone that can stop the run. Ted Hurst. Hey, you get a guy that Mendoza can develop chemistry with and develop that back shoulder throw that he's known to throw in college, and hopefully he's able to do that in the pros. So Ted Hurst is a guy that can play that X spot too. Then you got Bud Clark, playmaking for kind of deep safety. You know what I mean? And you can move him around too. He got some coverage skills too as well. Jalen Kirk, same thing. You looked at his athletic profile, dude. He can run fast, explosive, play down in the box, play some nickel too as well. Another versatile safety, Malik Muhammad. This was the chat right here. Malik Muhammad. Everybody was wanting to get Malik take corner here. So look, we got another corner. Add more talent to that room. Jamari Taylor, running back. See, Jamari, the way, like, I wish the Raiders doubled up at running back last year. We had that conversation on last show on 50/50 show. I really wish they would have doubled up at running back, just because of, like, just imagine the guys that they are like someone in the 5th, 4th of last year's draft could have been drafted in the 3rd, or maybe 2nd. I don't want to say 2nd, but like 3rd, at least the 3rd round. Some of the guys that went, like, I'm trying to think. I think that running back that got drafted by the Saints. I'm trying to think. He went in the 3rd. I think he went in the 5th round to the Saints. I'm trying to remember his name. Hold up. But either way, Raiders get a guy that kind of fits the system, outside zone scheme. I have no problem with that. We all know that Genty's the guy. Oscar Delp is a guy that's going to probably be Mayer's replacement. A guy that can block and give you some receiving potential as well too, and be basically Michael Mayer's replacement. And then Harold Perkins, athletic linebacker. A lot of people talked about how, like, he was kind of misused at LSU, but use him on the edge, kind of blitzing, kind of getting after the quarterback. That might be a spot for him in the pros. Running backs always get low grades in mock drafts, depending on which ones though. This draft, though, to be honest with you, the running back class is kind of questionable.
Yeah. And again, like, we're not going to be able to address every need this offseason. Like, I think a lot of folks are, like, under the impression that we're going to fix this entire franchise in one offseason. We did draft Mendoza 1 overall. Daryl.
The thing about Delp, for whatever reason, PFF is not high on him. They're big board, they're not high on him. But if you look at it anywhere else, like, Delp is, like, projected to go earlier. If he's here in the 5th, I mean, or in the 6th, like, I have no problem if the Raiders took him, because while he was with Georgia, he was behind Brock Bowers. He was behind who's the tight end for the Steelers?
You're talking about the big dude.
Big dude.
Yeah, he's like 6'7".
Yeah, 6'7", 270. Like, almost. I think he said he's 300 pounds.
Yeah. He's pretty much like a tackle.
Darnell
tight end.
Washington.
Darnell Washington. That's his name. Yep.
So he's been behind all these Georgia tight ends, and a lot of his responsibilities for the most part have been basically being an inline blocking tight end. So he's kind of developed his skill set as a blocker, but then he's flashed, like, in the pass game. So I'm just saying, I just think that it'd be a nice pickup. Yeah, and I think it gives you flexibility too on, like, because I think Jack Besh is going to be playing a similar role as Brock Bowers. Like, if Brock Bowers is in the slot, Jack Besh could play that position, not at that level, of course, but he's going to be that kind of style. But by getting Oscar Delp, if he translates well, you get your Brock Bowers insurance. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really have to worry about that anymore, because we can't say that Michael Mayer is really that guy. You know what I mean? Like, he just hasn't been healthy, hasn't been available enough, and, like, we'll have to see how he plays this year. But yeah, let me give you a little bit of his athletic profile. He's 6'4", ran a 4.49 40, 30-inch vertical, 38-inch.
Damn.
38-inch vertical.
Damn, bro.
So on top of what I said earlier about him as a blocker, I'm just saying, like, I don't want the Raiders to draft him because he has this athletic. I'm just saying, we need to. It doesn't have to be Oscar Delp. It could be anybody else. But like the fact that he's here and he can give you all of that, plus be a, compliment, give us an actual blocking tight end, which we don't technically have. I mean, Michael Mayer was supposed to be that guy, but I mean, he's kind of inconsistent at best. But that's just me. But yeah, hey man, we are able to knock out 2 solid mock drafts, final mock drafts before tomorrow's draft. Obviously, we all feel like we all know who's going to be pick number 1. It's going to be Mendoza. It's going to be exciting to see how the board falls, which guys go a little bit earlier, which guys go later, which guys are going to be available for, Fridays. Basically, that's when the Raiders draft to me starts, is on Friday, that second round pick. And we'll see how who are the best available. So it's going to be fun to see. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clack in at this point, clack out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It might be possible that I might have a show reacting to the first round of the draft and who are the best available players that the Raiders can look into trading for. I know we didn't have this conversation, but I don't know if you've been hearing about the Max Crosby possibly being a draft trade. There might be a possibility he might get traded. There's nothing substantial out or anything like that. It's just people kind of like notable people talking about it, like Vinny talking about.
Yeah,
it's not out of question that he can be traded for the right price.
It's just a fail if they get anything less than 2 1s. You know what I mean? At this point, it's like, especially if you get it after the draft. During the draft, it's like if we walk away with 2 1s, and it's it's the Rams, let's say. I think like this would be their actual pick, right? Because they traded away the Atlanta pick, I think, for that cornerback. Yeah, so I don't know, man. If it's not 2 1s, then I would be disappointed. To keep it a buck, I was a little disappointed when he did come back. I was like, oh, for sure we get Max Crosby back. This is great. Like everyone's kind of going like, we low key like sacrificed Raider Jesus. You know what I mean? For the greater good of like our franchise, so to speak. And like, it was just really painful to go through, but I was like, hey, this is necessary for us to go through. And then having that be kind of revoked, it's like, okay, well, welcome back. We get the top 3 player at your position. That's great. But I was just excited about the picks, and
for sure.
Now it's like, if that happened, I don't see that happening, man. I don't see it happening. I think they're gonna want to see him play before they give up 2 first-round picks for him. And
because it takes a certain, because it's a mindset. Your whole mindset. It takes a certain level of mindset to prioritize like the picks over a great player like Max Crosby, because you're kind of like, the reality is like, he's only getting older. He's only gonna get more hurt. It's the window of Max Crosby is different than the window of the Raiders right now. And like, to be honest, we're keeping it real. Once the Raiders draft Mendoza, that's the player that they're going to be building around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Max, the Raiders should have built a top defense around Max, but they didn't. They failed. They failed to do that. And they missed on that window.
It's just so hard to believe that they couldn't find a running mate for this guy. You know what I mean? Like, they tried it with Christian Wilkins. That was going to work. Like, it seemed like it was going to work until he got hurt. You know what I mean? And like, we had Yannick Ngakoue. That was probably the most productive, counter to him. But even he was just nowhere to be found in the run game. But we just could not find that other guy for him. And I don't think Kwity Paye's that guy. I mean, I hope Malcolm Kuntz, maybe Kwity Paye and Malcolm Kuntz can supplement that need this next year. We're going to have to see. But, man, it's just it's kind of unbelievable. It's like you have this generational player. It's like it's kind of like what LeBron went through in when he was with the Cavs initially and then he left. It's like, damn, you have this generational player and then you see him leave and he comes back and you kind of build the team around him. But with Max, it's we never really even got to that point just because of all the turnover. But you know what I will say is it's nice to see a front office that's aligning all these contracts, that are making all the what we assume are the right moves. You kind of think, you do the mental calculus and you see it, you're like, okay, this makes sense. But there's a time frame for us to reevaluate who's on our roster. in the next couple of years. And the folks that they signed are 24. They're not 28. They're not dudes that had one great year that were overpaying for 5 years and we're going to cut them in 2 years and have a whole bunch of dead money. You know, these are sound decisions. And even with the addition of Max Crosby, I think we're going to see him play at a high level with these linebackers behind him too, because it just made it, dude. I was the first one to overlook Robert Spillane. You know, I was like, Robert Spillane's a good linebacker, but not a great linebacker. He's a good starter, but not a great starter. But you see that defensive line without someone that's making you right, especially with someone as talented as Max that's kind of gambling on plays. If you don't have that cohesion with the guys behind you, you're gonna suffer. You know, and we kind of saw that all last year with Landon Roberts being a little bit slower, you know, because he's old. You've seen it with White. Yeah, Devin White just flying around for no reason, really. He's just running as fast as he can and just overrunning shit.
Man, eventually he got into it with Max. Remember that game?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if you don't have that brotherhood, you know, that guy that's making you right, then it's like, you know, you can't even it's just, you know, the house begins to crumble. But I'm excited regardless. I think we're taking the right steps. Tomorrow's going to be a great step. You know, it's going to ease all of our worries about getting that franchise quarterback. So I'm excited for what's to come, man.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think most likely if Max does get traded, it'll be before the trade deadline next season. Once the value kind of, you know, gets. I think you talked about this. I think you talked about it earlier. I think you mentioned if Max gets traded, it would be when teams are desperate and they're trying to replace, you know, they're trying to make a run at the playoffs and they're desperate to replace a position they lost due to injury or whatever the case may be. So we'll see. And man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Like I said, make sure to clack in at this point, clack out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Man, let people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me again, man. It's always great to pop in, talk some ball with the boys, man. It's been way too long. A lot going on.
I've been trying to get you on, man. Busy man.
Hey, man, I gotta keep my nose to the grindstone, so to speak. But yeah, y'all could find my music just mint.beats everywhere. It's gonna be on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you find, you know, you use your streaming, you stream your music. I actually have a new song out. I got credits on. My homie released it. It's called Vertigo Virus. The song called My Cup. I produced that, so go check that out. You can find it on my account as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, man. Hey, look, definitely check out Mint Beats on IG. Follow them all over. You have YouTube as well? Do you have are you all over social media, Mint Beats? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I'm mostly active on social media, on Instagram. I do have a YouTube though. I have some videos posted up there of some beat making. If you like to see folks that work with old gear, stuff like that, I have a whole bunch of videos of me doing that stuff. So tap in if you're a music fanatic for sure.
Yes, sir. There you go, man. Hey, look, man, Raiders gonna draft their quarterback of the future, Mendoza, tomorrow. Y'all gonna be celebrating. And hopefully there's going to be some great players left after the first round tomorrow. And we appreciate everybody coming through, man. To hopefully, we'll see. I might do a show after the first round. Just stay tuned. Make sure to click in or make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified if we go live or not, man. But all right, man, hopefully we'll do this again soon, man.
Sir. Yes, sir. Until next time.
All right, y'all. Peace.